just bought this wrecked 991.2 GT3RS, and now let's see if we can rebuild it. This GT3RS behind us doesn't drive, and you might be wondering how we got it up on the trailer. Well, the dismantler used a forklift to put it on the trailer. We don't have a forklift here, so we're trying to figure out a way on how we can get this thing off the trailer. There's no front right wheel. The front left wheel is buried up in the fenders, and it's pretty much the same story for the rear. We're gonna be using an engine hoist to wrap around the front crash support, lift this up, and then tie a winch to the back of the car and try to lower it down onto the ground. So the car is currently in park. It's not allowing the rear wheels to roll. So we're gonna hook a jump pack up to the battery, and we're gonna try to get this car to go into neutral, because it does still run, allegedly. Look at the dash, come here. Release parking brake. It's on, but it won't release. Oh, it's off. There. It's off. All right. Yep. My God. All right, good. Oh my God, you're good. Holy hell. Can't believe that worked.
I'm excited. It's been a while.
You're excited for a car?
I'm excited for a car.
Wow.
It's been a while. I like the crash builds the most.
1, 2, 3.
Whoa. Oh my God.
That sounds slow. Okay, TJ. I did it slow. I just cracked it. That was Calvin's fault. I can't wait to see the underside of this car. Yeah, send her. We'll look underneath. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm down. This is by far the worst crash we've ever had in this shop, and it's painful to see such a beautiful car that we all know and love be in such distress. But that is not gonna define the future of this car. We're determined to take the worst crashed vehicle we've ever purchased and give it a new life. So this GT3RS is definitely the most daunting project we've ever taken on, and I really wanted to step it up because you guys wanted to see something even crazier than what we've done before. So I purchased this, and now seeing it, it's definitely way crazier and way more difficult and much more scary than I thought it would be, but we're gonna do our best to save this car. But I want to, before we go into it, I wanna talk about how much I bought this car for, because I think it was a good steal, and it's kind of what helped push me over the edge to buy this. Now in 2019, GT3RS goes for around $250,000 to $275,000. These things are still very expensive, and they differ a lot from the .1 to .2 because the motors are actually different, and the .2s also come with different interior, updated PCM, and they also have the option for a WiSec package. One of the most compelling reasons as to why I ended up purchasing this car is because I was told the car still runs and drives. Now, before we get into it and start diving into this car, we'll see how much of the body is actually savable. The engine and drivetrain alone combined on a used market come in just at around $60,000. Now, I bought this car for just a little over 60, coming in at $62,000, and then what it took to ship it here. Now stay with me here. This is my TJ logic. The engine and trans alone are worth what I paid for it. The GT3RS market for used parts is pretty big, and it's very, very pricey. These bucket seats right here, you can find these things all day, anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000. This car is opted with the carbon ceramics, which all 4 of these come in at a price point just around the $15,000 mark. Now the interior on this car, I actually have no idea how much it's worth. The steering wheel is smoked, the dash is still good, the door cards are good, all the Alcantara parts are still good, and there's a roll cage, which is at least a few $1,000s. So, in my head, I was like, it's a steal. We're getting an engine and a transmission and a bunch of surplus on top of that. It's definitely the worst car I've ever had in the shop, and I am a little bit nervous about it. Before we get too much farther, we really wanna see if this thing runs and drives. Now, I'll put the car up on the lift so you guys can see underneath it, and these were photos that I did ask for before purchasing the car. I reached out to a couple Porsche friends and I was just like, hey, I'm looking at this car, what are your thoughts? Please let me know. And the first thing that they recommended that we ask photos of is the underside of the engine and check the engine casting just to make sure there's no cracks, There's nothing that looks broken because odds are, if the casting looks good, the engine is gonna be perfectly fine. So it looks like this guy did have an exhaust on the car, and judging by the harnesses that he had inside the car, it looks like he liked to hoon around a bit, which is good. That means this car had a good life before finding its graveyard here, but we're here to bring it back. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to at least take off this undercarriage panel right here and try to get a better sight on the engine. From the original photos that we got underneath it, the thing looked pretty together. There wasn't any cracks, any real damage that was too gnarly. It looked like the catback exhaust really absorbed most of the rear damage. So we're gonna take this off, get a better look, and we'll check it out together. Ooh, that's covered. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to see oil on the underside of that. Look at that. Oh yeah, please, thank you so much.
Wow.
Stopped right there.
I cracked this, the bracket between the motor plate and the engine. Oh yeah, it just sheared that.
Yeah, it's an oiling of some sort.
Is this dry sump?
It is a dry sump.
We can try and pump it over.
Put a bucket underneath it and just catch all the...
Yeah, like honestly, pull the fuel pump relay or something like that, and then just like see if we can try and fire it up and see how much comes out to start. That's the top post to the bushing, right?
Oh, that's
Here's
motor
the
mount.
motor plate or whatever you want to call it, and then the motor mount, and just pulled the rubber, pulled it out of the rubber isolator. So it actually just lifted. It didn't pull it up. It lifted the frame away from the motor plate. Exhaust for sale, pretty cheap.
Oh, it's a soul exhaust.
Me. That's the block. Okay, so here's what it's supposed to look like. Frame rail to fender tub, right? Now let's just go cruise on over here and look at it not look like that. Oh! Was this thing flooded?
Oh.
So
The entire underside.
So this one, I don't know if you can tell, it's a little different. And then also kind of doing these lines. They're not compromised, they're not leaking. But if you want to look up in here, I don't think that's really...
Yeah, no strut tower blown through, which is actually a very common thing with 911.
Really?
911s blow through the struts all the time in crashes. Here's the sad part, is we wanted to start this car today, but with the oiling system having a big gash in it, we don't know if it's gonna be building pressure or do anything, but what we will do is we can go ahead and lower it. We'll key on the car and we'll just like see what it says. I don't know if we're gonna start it. And remember when I said there was no castings that were broken? Looks like I was wrong. Let's lower the car, get in it, put the key in, put a battery on the battery box, and let's see what happens. Oh, great, there's more. Should we throw this in all the orders for everyone who places a Hunt & Co order? We'd have enough, we could just shred it up into pieces. First things first, the key to get power to this. We'll put a little jump box to it. Do we have the key? It's probably in the car.
It was in the ignition last time I saw it.
I'm ready. I'm all strapped in. Is something wrong with the car?
Oh, your harness is nice. I think the battery's just absolutely tight.
No way I'm taking 2 back-to-back L's, right? Give away my 911? I'm just kidding. Where am I? Yeah. Oh. Wow, only 5,000 miles. That's super, super low. I kind of want to crank it.
Just be ready to immediately shut it off, dude. Nah. I hated that, but cool, we're good.
Oh, that's very smoky. Give me that.
Oh, are we hold on. Is oil coming out of this hole here?
Smells like oil. Oh my god.
Well, there's so much that's probably been sitting here for so long.
The rattle noises, too, were concerning, but also, too, everything's in pieces.
Honestly, hear me out on this. If we order that tube and then replace it, and then seal the oiling system, we can double check the fluid level and then try and start it.
If you took the universe and you put it in a tube, you wouldn't want to put the universe in a tube.
I'm just gonna tell everyone right now, that's Tim and Eric. Just so I don't look like some kind of nerd that I don't know Tim and Eric.
Oh, man. We can't safely run it.
No.
We can't safely run it.
I'm even upset that we did that, but we did it, and it's already here. So it starts and turns over, so that's cool.
Any damage that would have been done, they would have already ran it.
It would have been done when they started it.
So that, if it was damaged, it was already I don't want to buy an engine.
No, I don't want you to buy an engine either.
I bought this car intending to not buy an engine.
So unfortunately, we can't remove the key. So now we have to
We can because there's no battery in it now.
Okay, I don't know Porsches at all.
Here's our plan of attack. When we started it, it sounded a little scary. It sounded like a bag of rocks in the back. I'm gonna optimistically think that the reason why it was so rattly is because the whole rear end of the car is just in pieces and vibration can sound very scary. But also at the same time, let's think about it being the worst case scenario. And let's say that the car, when it crashed, there was no internal engine damage and the engine was fine, but when it went to a dismantler and they went to turn it on to see if it ran, they never noticed that the oil line was broken, so they ran it for who knows how long, or maybe they ran it for a minute, and maybe it potentially had a loss of oil pressure, built up a lot of friction, and maybe some parts of the internal of the engine are damaged and could potentially be floating around in there like a universe in a tube. So if that's the case, we need to drain the oil and to see what the oil looks like. If we see fragments of metal or just metallic flakes in the oil, that's going to be extremely concerning. I'm going to hope that the oil is not going to be too black, considering there's only 5,000 miles on this car. That could be a full life cycle of oil. Hopefully they change this oil at one point in time, therefore leading me to believe that the oil is not going to be too gross, so we can actually see what's inside. And then I think, just to be extra cautious, we should pull the engine out of the car just to see what it looks like exteriorly. Through the photos that we saw, the casting looked good, but there is casting that is broken. Is that casting fixable? Can we weld something on it? Maybe call Porsche Magic Friend and see what he says. But I think we should drain the oil and start disassembling everything we can from the back of the car just to get a better look at what we're really dealing with and not run this car or this engine again until we know that it's gonna be safe.
Just looking at this thing a lot more, even just sitting here within 2 feet of my face, I'm like, I don't know about any of this.
The chassis is really questionable at this point.
It's just getting
worse
the more we sit here.
Which at that point opens a whole different discussion. But this chassis is really rough. The interior is, dude, astonishingly pretty good. Considering this is the only airbag, I think this and the foot airbag went off.
There's a foot airbag?
That blows my mind how all the curtain airbags didn't go off. Okay, let's drain the oil and see what we find out, boy. We're gonna be looking for any type of metal shavings within the oil reflecting back off the light. And with the dry sump, there are multiple drain plugs, so we're gonna go around each one and reveal what is behind each drain. Oh! We're now gonna move on to the oil filter because you can actually rip these things apart and check for shavings within the filter himself. It just requires some gentle persuasion to open the filter, and then it reveals the paper which we will be inspecting for metal shavings.
I'm gonna say you're good, dude. There's not like a remnant of any kind of metallic flake on any of these. Yeah, you'd see it in these folds, but
That's a good sign though, that's a good sign.
So far so good.
Now we gotta move on to the fun part, which is taking everything apart. So I believe we're gonna focus on the rear first, try to get the exhaust off, take the wheels off, start draining what fluids are left in the car, and get this engine out.
I'm gonna host Tej. Before Tawan could catch him, TJ was like, there's no drive shaft.
I forgot, well I was looking for the transmission. I'm like, where's the transmission?
I wonder where.
Does that mean we dropped the subframe with the trans and the engine?
Yep.
That's a first. The engine is getting pretty close to dropping. We have a few more things to remove. Right now we're just taking off the brake lines to the caliper, but we've already gotten off all the suspension arms. A lot of the subframe has been loosened already, so we can get ready to drop it. And there is a little bit of movement on the engine. I don't have the strength to do it, but Dylan did. We're almost there.
Am I squirting super hard?
No. Oh, yeah, whoa! Oh, dude, it like shoots up like a stream. Oh,
Calvin.
everywhere.
Look at this. Ready for it? Oh. Here's that for you. You want that? You're gonna definitely reuse that one. There you go. Up.
Yeah, you're
Yep, keep going. Okay, hold on. Go for it. All the way. All the way. Keep going.
And this is what $60,000 looks like.
This?
This. Look at how torqued
Yeah.
the frame is from here.
Opening right there.
smoked. Chassis is 100% written off. No questions asked.
Come over here.
Oh
Just to see the other side of it.
Just tears the
that right
whole
there.
way through.
Here, grab a...
We want to take this plate off now?
Yeah, grab a 16.
I'm really scared to look behind this.
This is cracked right here.
This is cracked. Can we take that off?
Should be able to.
And these studs.
Wallowed. Absolutely not. Oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
That one looks fine.
This is fine, right? Yeah, you're good.
Oh, that's not good.
Okay. I mean, someone theoretically can weld a bung onto this.
But
And
look at
then-
these studs are like walked.
Up by like a ½ inch.
The bottom of this pan looks okay, but like that's scary. That is scary. That, I mean, can be fixed.
I mean, the
that
subframe...
attaches to the motor, and that goes to the motor mounts up here. I'll send some photos to my magic friends and see what they say. But that's definitely not what we were hoping for.
This all looks like a 5,000 mile RS motor.
We're good. Hit the gas. 1 sec. Hold up. Stop.
Okay. Yep. Sick. Trans looks good.
Trans looks okay. It's just this section.
Yeah. So this axle, the engine mounts, the coil pack cover. This subframe's so toast.
Subframes are cheap. Trying to see if it's like
Well, it has to come out no matter what.
bending the aluminum.
I'm just trying to assess how much the threads are salvageable or damaged, or what we have to do to drill it out and weld in a bung, or you know what I mean? Because like I'm definitely not a fabricator, but I feel like you could drill that out, take a threaded bung, or re-weld that and drill it and tap it. Same with this, same with that. So there's ways to salvage it. I don't see any cracking on that one. Although this part is wallowed, but that's because it got bent up into it. This one, the threads are so deep that they're fine. So it's just this casing right here. So I feel like if we drilled that and cracked that. That one, the threads are good too. It's just that piece. You know what I'm saying?
This is the one that scares me the most.
I'm not scared about that one the least. This is the one that scares me the most because it's not there. This is actually a replaceable bracket right here.
Yeah, this plunge plate.
Yeah, this little accessory pulley bracket. That's all replaceable. We could actually get a new one of these.
And then this bracket that was broken right here was actually just a plate. So we might be able to just replace that, extract that, and then that should still functionally work.
Yeah, the only two that are cast into the block are these two.
Yeah.
So I feel better. Feeling better.
Here we are. Here's my backup plan. I might look crazy for this, and I probably am a little bit crazy, and I'm okay with that.
So I'm happy to introduce to you guys our 991.2 Porsche GT3. That's right, there's no RS at the end of this title because this is a different car. And before you start scratching your head in confusion, let me explain. So right here is our 991.2 GT3RS, which in the last video, you guys saw us drop the engine and trans out of this car and inspect the rest of the chassis. Now, as we stripped the whole entire car and started looking underneath it, we saw some damage that essentially rode off the entire car. And if the front end wasn't bad enough, the whole entire rear end section is cracked all the way to the strut, and I can see the inside of the cabin from here. So, this was my backup plan. Now this Porsche GT3 is a beautiful spec in Guards Red, one of my absolute favorites. But there's something particular about this GT3 that made this very interesting. It's pretty clear that this one's been in some sort of minor front end accident. That's not that bad. But where this car gets very interesting, now I still haven't figured a way to open up the trunk hatch yet, but let's get underneath the car and show you what's behind that door. And it's nothing. And on the inside of this car, we have a manual gearbox that's missing a gearbox, and we have missing seats. Now, what is something that our GT3RS has? Well, it has every piece that we're missing for the Guards Red GT3. So this is where the risk factor really weighs in here, because we have a GT3RS engine and PDK transmission that I'm pretty sure should be able to fit inside of this GT3. But there are some differences between a GT3 and a GT3RS. So let's go over those differences. I'm gonna call my friend Jamie, and he works at Dundon Motorsport. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, we've actually installed quite a few Dundon Motorsport exhaust systems on our Porsches, and they make the best systems, and they specialize in Porsche. He will know everything that we need to know about these two cars. So let's give him a call and start asking some questions. It should be going through right now. Oh, there it goes.
Gotcha.
Sweet. I know there are some differences with the two cars. Is a .2 RS and a .2 GT3, do they share the same engine?
They do. So they're both 4 liters. They both have the same valve train. The biggest difference between them is the engine tuning. It's just the ECU.
So in theory, as long as we have the ECU and the computer components to manage the engine, in theory it should work. Now, what I saw on my .2 RS that I don't know if my .1 RS has is, does it have active tow in the rear?
Yes. So you're putting a .2 engine in a .1.
No,
RS.
we're putting a .2 RS engine and a .2 GT3.
Perfect. Okay, no problem. So that should be fine. You're gonna want to run the .2 GT3 ECU. If all you do is plop the engine in and connect it to the .2 GT3, the .2 GT3 won't know that engine came from an RS. It has no way to tell.
Right.
And all the mechanicals are the same, so it will start and run and be perfect.
Right, so what are the core fundamental differences of a .2 GT3 and a .2 GT3 RS? Is it just aero, or are there other components that differ to them?
Pretty much. Aero, size of the tires, I think spring rates are different.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it, really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, as far as, and the ECU tune. So what we can do is once you get it all done, then we can tune the ECU in your .2 GT3 to get you that RS power back.
All right, well, thank you, Jamie. I wouldn't have made the decision without your input, so thank you.
Hopefully this goes well.
Hopefully it goes well while you're on the line. No, I'm just kidding. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.
Ooh, okay, that's crazy. I learned a lot there, and I always knew there were some real differences, but the .2 GT3 to .2 GT3 RS, the main differences are strictly in the aero. So we're kind of gonna be doing a little bit of heresy. I know the Porsche Club of America is gonna have a field day because we're kind of doing something a little bit weird. We're taking their flagship car and we're gonna be putting it in something that's actually considered a little bit less. But here's the kicker. And this is where it gets really crazy in the Porsche world. So the Porsche that I have, my ultraviolet purple, is a 991.1 GT3 RS. Now the GT3 RS.1 RS engine is actually different from the engine that we pulled out of the .2. This engine is actually quite a bit more valuable. It makes a little bit more torque, and it's supposed to be a better engine. Now, the 991.1 GT3 doesn't have the 4.0 that I have in my RS. It has a 3.8. So when they went to the .2s, it got an upgraded engine, which is what makes the RS.2 so much more valuable. They're an extra $60,000 just because you get this engine, and of course you get some facelift and some PCM, but the 991.2 GT3 is the same value as my 991.1 GT3 RS. Now I know I'm throwing a bunch of Porsche lingo at you. There's a .1 and a .2. The .2 is the updated, more last gen version of this. So we're gonna be taking all the .2 components and we're gonna be stuffing it into a .2 GT3. Now, here's where it gets exciting. I don't know if this is gonna work. I truly don't, and that's what makes this build so fun, is we have the pleasure and we get to come here every day and do our best to try to do something that I don't think, to my knowledge, has ever been done before. Now, they are very similar in the fact that they share the same drivetrain and such, but we're gonna be taking the risk of taking everything in that car and trying to stuff it in this car. And while you guys are here with me, let's go over this car a little bit, because this car was crashed, and that's what made this so perfect. Now, this car actually came from a friend of mine called Tommy F. Yao. He didn't crash the car, but he bought it and stole some parts off it. So, if you take a look around the car, we're missing
all 4 calipers. And what makes this different than the RS is the RS was actually optioned with the PCCB, which is the carbon ceramic brakes. Those are very expensive. Now this has the steel brake option. Now you can upgrade this to the carbon ceramics from factory, but this car has steelies on it. I have carbon ceramics on my ultraviolet purple RS, and as much as I love them, I actually really want steel options because we could fit a different size wheel, actually a lot smaller of a wheel because the actual caliper and rotor is a little bit smaller. So I'm happy that it has the steely brakes. If you come to the inside of the car, you'll notice that we're missing a very expensive item, and that is the seats. But if you remember, we still have the seats and they're in perfect condition from the RS. So we're gonna be taking the seats and sticking it in here. Only other thing that we're missing from the inside of this is our airbag, but this is a leather wheel, and we definitely will want to upgrade to an Alcantara wheel, so I think we can use the RS steering wheel in that. And like I tried to show you earlier, we haven't figured out how to open the trunk hatch yet. So there's no engine and trans, but because this car doesn't have electronics and I've already hooked up a battery to it and I can't get the rest of the car to key on, I don't know why yet, but I can't open that up. We're gonna be making a Frankenstein GT3 with a GT3RS sole underneath it. In theory, they're the same car, but we're gonna be taking the guts and soul of that and putting it in here. And then this car was in some sort of a minor front end wreck, which honestly isn't too bad. We should be able to take the whole front end off, which is gonna be a mission in itself, but it would be too easy if we just bought a normal GT3 or another RS that did need a little bit of work. So we're also gonna be, as we're doing the transplant of this car and swapping out the harnesses, the ECU, the interior, all the modules and engine components, we're gonna be doing some front end surgery to the front of this GT3. Lots to do, lots to tackle. While we are waiting on parts for this, because I already ordered a complete front half tub for this car, because they're actually pretty accessible, because believe it or not, and again, if you guys aren't familiar with Porsches, you're gonna be very familiar by the end of all this series, because you can use a rear wheel drive Carrera front end tub, and it doesn't need to be GT3 specific. They actually share from the base models the same tub, as long as it's not the Turbo S all-wheel drive option. And this hood is not carbon because it's not an RS, it's just an aluminum hood, and you can actually use a Carrera 911 hood, and it's the same hood on the GT3. Same goes for these fenders. I'm pretty sure that they are actually just Carrera fenders, not RS specific, which is awesome. If you come to the rear end of the car, there is just a little bit of damage. We need to get a new rear bumper because this one saw a little bit of a wall. And this car is completely covered in PPF, which is nice. And the PPF looks like it honestly saved some of this paint, but there's so many scratches and dings throughout this bumper, we're just gonna be better off ordering a brand new one. And then we'll get a taillight and then a little bit of PDR here to fix a slight little dent in this rear quarter. And I think this whole entire trunk lid and wing is completely savable, as it just has some minor scratches. Lots and lots to fix on this car. Don't quite know how we're gonna do it yet, but in theory it should work, and we have the friends and manpower and dedication to pull it off, to hopefully be the first people to ever do this swap. But all you need to know is we're gonna try to put that into that. And normally we do auto to manual swaps. And in this video, we're gonna be doing manual to auto, because believe it or not, the PDK transmission, that's the automatic trans in these cars, is so dang good. I have no problem switching from a manual to auto, because it's just that good. So let's go back to the interior of this car. Let's help out Cal, because we still have a lot of stripping to do. And when I say stripping, we're not just taking seats and trim out. We need to take every single component of this car out. And when I say everything, I literally mean everything. Our goal is going to be to get this chassis down to a bare shell. That means every piece of hardware, every bit of the wiring harness, every piece of plastic will come off of this car, because if we don't use it for the red car, we plan to sell it to try to get as much money back as possible. One thing that I want to point out that I just noticed on this Porsche that I have not seen on other cars, especially supercars that we've worked on, all of these trim pieces and interior pieces have a gasket that goes in between them. And the reason why that's cool and why that's important is because, in my opinion, Porsche has some of the nicest build quality out of any cars. I think a lot of people would agree with that, just when it comes to rattling and squeaking and just the finishing touches. Now on the inside of this panel that I'm starting to remove the dash, I removed it from this inside piece. I took it apart, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just cracked it. And then I noticed that's a gasket. It's a mini rubber gasket. And then Calv said, as he's been doing this whole entire car, every piece on the interior is also lined in this gasket.
Like when you buy supercars and they got the 6-figure tag and you're like, what am I paying for? At least you know with Porsche, you press on things, it doesn't squeak. They got you. Literally that's so many more steps in manufacturing.
It's sick. That's super cool.
Top 10 hardest center consoles to remove. It's just very convoluted. I watched a tutorial from this guy, same guy TJ's watching the same tutorial from. Oh, wait. Oh, I should have marked it. Well, sorry about that, Teach.
Oh, the threads.
Yeah.
There's marking threads on that.
Yeah, that's me shifting your gears. I don't know where it was, but I didn't realize it. Took a while. Still not out. Porsche likes to make their thing really cool. Look at this mechanism. So fancy. Hate it. Can't take it apart.
While we're talking about all this Porsche stuff, Hunt & Co actually just released a dedicated GT3RS t-shirt. It's personally one of my faves, so if you're a fan of this car and you want a chance to enter to win our Mark IV Supra giveaway car, head over to thehuntandcompany.com, and every $1 you spend will get you one entry towards winning. I picked out a couple orders with some guys with taste. Dylan Ulrich ordered a GT3RS T in large and in XL. I wonder if this is for a buddy. We have another person with some style. We got William Williams. Is that your real last name? Charlottesville, Virginia. We have another person with style, Wyatt Zelko from Hawaii. We got a 10-year anniversary tee. We have a GT3RS tee, and we have a R34 long sleeve tee. I like your style, Wyatt. Wyatt, William, and Dylan, thank you guys so much. These were packed by yours truly, and these orders are going up by the hundreds every single day. We're going as fast as we can, so I hope you guys win, and good luck. Now it's time for the scariest part of this whole entire video, in my opinion, and that is doing a compression test on this engine. It shouldn't be bad, but we've had a really bad case of luck lately with engines, so let's hope this one works out well. So Dylan made a contraption to check compression, because this doesn't have your typical, this isn't your typical engine. Let's just say that.
Long and short, we have a sealed oil system, new filter, new oil. Our water pump is disconnected, no belt. It's a lot easier for the motor to turn over. No coolant, so it's not gonna put any coolant out. Battery, jumper cables, grounded on the bell housing, supply power to the starter, and then we have a trigger switch over here, alligator clip.
Stopped at 120.
So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do 5 for each cylinder. We're just gonna take that number and see how close they are to each other. Because what you can do is you can spin it 20 times, and if it takes 20 times for one to get to one whatever, and 5 for another, there's some kind of underlying issue. So we're just gonna pick 5, which is an easy number, and then we'll do each cylinder. And then we'll see from there how it goes.
Okay. Plug her in.
Ready?
Same. For those of you who do not know what a compression test is, it works by spinning the engine through cycles with the compression tester in the place of the spark plug in the cylinder. As the engine builds pressure, the gauge will move and hold the highest point read on the gauge. After taking measurements of all 6 cylinders, we should see a healthy range with no more than 10% variance through all of the cylinders. If we can achieve this grouping of numbers, we can then determine that this engine is healthy. Now, to get a more accurate reading, you can do a compression test when the engine is warm. But of course, our engine is out of the car, so we know that it is cold. But doing a compression test with a cold engine will give you the worst case scenario because the metal has not yet expanded. So this can kind of give us a little bit more of a true reading of our compression. So honestly, it works out a little bit better for us.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Feels good.
So our initial test had a newer battery, and we were getting a stronger result sooner. After repeating all 6 again, we are reaching consistent 105 after 5 turnovers, and after about 8 to 9, we reached that 120. So that's good. So far, compression is solid. That is good. That is what we thought would happen, but just wanted to double check.
Now that you know putting it back in feels a lot better than being like, shit, I hope it works when we, spend a week and a half doing all this.
Now with the red car on the lift, let's look underneath it, which we haven't seen what's underneath this car yet. Should be pretty sturdy and everything should obviously be there. I'm not worried about that. But I'm curious to see how much was left over, because remember on the green one, there was that big dent under the floorboard and all of our coolant pipes were damaged. So hopefully with this one, we still have those and we don't need to go searching and buying more parts, and everything's covered, which is a good sign, because if it's covered, it means they never took it off. And, oh, awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit back here.
Yes, the motor mounts are here. We have a subframe, which our subframe is destroyed. All of the arms are destroyed, which we have all of that. And look at that, it has the active toe. That's epic.
And everything looks great.
That's epic. Now we just need to figure out how to open this darn trunk up.
That'll be easy.
Oh man, look at that. We got the AC lines, coolant lines, and even those plugs we had to replace. We could have actually just salvaged them from here, but oh well. We'll get them new. Oh man, that is exciting.
Oh, that panel's carbon too. Sick.
Yeah.
And the subframe looks identical.
Yeah, we'll do some research to double check that the subframes are compatible, but again, same engine, I'm sure it's fine.
Oh, this is nice. I like this. It's sheared right here. Look at this. But I'm stoked because look at the subframe mount point is the same. So I just pour right there. So far so good.
It's looking up, dude. It's looking up.
Yeah,
Hell
it stops
yeah.
right at this. All this line is perfectly in line with the factory under panel.
That's perfect. That's
Me,
great.
yeah.
The engine I was nervous about, and I was also nervous about what was going to be included in this. It's good. It's really good. I think this is gonna work.
Oh, there you go. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, I see it.
I like the deck lid and the wing of the GT3 more than the RS. I like all the aero on the front fenders and all that stuff and the side scoops, sure. I love that rear hatch. Interior process is very timely. I guess you don't really think, but removing everything down to the bare shell takes time. It takes a lot of time. And we're trying our best to not break anything.
I think TJ, when TJ says he's trying his best, he's about like, he gives it a tug and it's like, oh, it's not working. Time to big toe. You know what I'm saying?
I do my best. I'm definitely not the most delicate person, but
I'm over here. I'm over here trying to set up a GoPro. Like, oh, I'm not gonna clip it to the steering wheel. TJ sees it on the floor and he goes like this. Ooh, fine. Okay.
Didn't you break the interior on the NSX?
Oof. There's these plugs right here are very Calvin worthy.
Yeah.
I can breathe.
Oh, it feels good to have that out. Look at how much is left, though.
Wow. Is this solid? Like, damn.
Crash support.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of debate that's been happening when the camera is turned off. And there was some comments in the last video about this, and I'm gonna weigh into you guys here so you can help us with this decision. The engine we took out of the green RS is a GT3RS engine, and it has a PDK transmission. The PDK transmission is just a fancy way of saying it's an automatic transmission, but it is such an amazing gearbox. One of the best things about the GT3RS is the PDK transmission that comes in it. Now, this car was a manual car, not a PDK, so we were gonna be converting it into a PDK, which sounded like a really good idea at first. I'm kinda on the fence about putting a manual gearbox in the red car, keeping it true to its original form. When you look at the markets of both cars, the manual cars actually go for a little bit more money than the PDKs. And given the fact that I already have a 911 GT3RS that isn't PDK, the thought of having a manual one is a little tempting. So I wanna get your feedback down below. Should we try and source a manual gearbox and put a manual gearbox on the back of our GT3RS engine and put it in the red one? Weigh in your opinions down below. I need some help deciding. Now that that is out of the way, before we can even get to doing that, we need to strip the whole entire front end of this car because it was in a front end collision. Now, I was able to order a front tub off of eBay, so we have that coming in, but before we even get to removing this, we have a lot of parts to start removing. So let's stop talking about it and let's start doing it. got a package in that I'm very excited on, and this is the most vital thing for this whole entire rebuild for the GT3. I believe underneath my butt is the front tub for the car, which is gonna be sick because as we're starting to remove everything we need off the red one so we can replace this front tub, there are some things we don't know if we should replace or waste our time replacing because we don't know what has come on this one. So let's open it up and check it out. No, it came with interior.
Hell yeah, and all the brackets. And brake lines.
Wow.
And the horns, and the whiplash. This is a W. This is a big W.
The whole entire inside here is still here. Wow.
I'm wet right now.
Wow.
I'm excited.
I didn't know
so
it came
excited.
with any of that. Look at it came with everything.
Did you not look at it before you purchased it?
I just was like, yep, that's the tub. We need that. I ordered it.
Front tub, buy.
Kind of. So all of this stuff that was all right here all got destroyed. And we thought we were gonna have to order everything new, but this just came with it.
So what we're gonna use on the chassis are the factory frame rails and this cross support here. And then from the tub forward and from the strut towers out is what we'll use. And then hopefully I can cut this off and pop these rivets. They just went Sawzall happy, so that's perfect. I think they give us enough stuff.
Dude, that's so dope that it came with all. So it may not look like it, but for the last 48 hours, we've been trying to strip the front end of this car as best as we can. We're just analyzing what's on the car and slowly taking things piece by piece. Now we've almost gotten to the portion of where I think we're almost ready to start looking at this front tub to come off. And there's two ways we can go about this. We can either, one, remove the tub from the front of the firewall. And this is actually held together with glue and rivets. Very, very strong glue. And there's also a secondary section which stops right behind the cargo tub, right in front of the struts, where it appears that we might be able to separate it from here rather than replacing the whole thing. We'd much rather replace just the front tub section than the whole entire front end assembly, because we want to try to use as many parts that came original to this car as possible. And as we take off each bolt and each little bracket, we're transferring it over to this car so we can at least try to keep track of all the original hardware that came on the car. And with this tub off the car, you can kind of see what we're talking about. There looks to be like an overlap section right here, which I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think we might be able to separate it from here and isolate the whole entire cargo section with this frame support and hopefully attach it back on. But we still have quite a bit of work to do, so we're gonna keep on going. Before the tub comes out, the front subframe needs to be dropped, so let's drop it. You're good, you're good. It's looking real good. Wow, how cool is that? Wow. Coilover? Yeah, it's out.
Yeah, we'll make sure it's not on the other side.
Oh, you're good. Yeah!
Insert music.
That's cool. Now that we have it off too, we can get a much better look at the subframe. It looks pretty good. Looks really good.
I was waiting for it, honestly.
Looks really good. Looks like we'll have to replace this hose. Probably both of them, honestly.
Wait a minute. No, it's both. It's the whole. So
Yeah,
this
it
part's
goes
right here.
from here to here.
Yeah, I wonder.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, donor car, nice.
It's a lot of work just to get that one coolant hose out though.
Gotta come out anyways.
That's pretty sick.
We don't definitely have to do the exact same thing we just did over there twice now for that coolant hose.
Coolant hose is probably pretty cheap.
Yeah, we should see how much they are.
We should definitely see how much it is. If it's like $100.
Can we just expose Dylan for his wallet
Yeah,
real quick?
not
What kind of
okay.
is this?
Not
dude?
okay.
What's wrong with that?
Nah, the Ouija board I don't care about. The sheer size of this.
Oh, I love the wallet. Ouija board.
Cowboy wallets are the best. Rodeo wallet, cowboy wallet, whatever you wanna call it.
This is the doctor speaking.
Hi, doctor. I have a question for you, doctor.
Yes, patient.
Do we have to replace the full front tub, or can you section it in half?
You can section it if you can find it.
Was your frame rail bent in the front?
Yes.
So
there are frame rail replacements.
Ours is fine.
Ours is bent. We have a whole front quarter or front third of a car from the firewall forward, but does it overlap with rivets?
Yes. So you have to clear out all of the glue on the front tub. Under all that glue are rivets, and you have to drill all those rivets out and kind of like hammer it out But if you're reusing that, you're gonna have to be extremely careful not to bend or crack the tub because it is aluminum.
Okay, so rather than replacing the whole entire thing, there should be a split about right here. There actually should be 2 different sections. What we're gonna do is now we're gonna get razor blades. We're gonna start scraping all of the seam sealer off, and we're gonna try to identify the split. If we can do that, and we know that it's there, we're then gonna do that around the whole entire car, and we're gonna try and separate the 2. Oh my God, that's an amazing tool.
Use a wire wheel. I just want to get rid of some little exploratory cuts, you know what I'm saying?
So we have the sandworm.
You're excited that this is out.
The last time we saw this was the Ferrari.
Yeah,
That was
that's
so
right.
long time. That was a long time ago.
Okay, hot take. I think the Ferrari was easier than this car.
I don't-
Maybe it's
I
because
don't-
it was already half missing.
The only thing that was hard was the pulling when we went to San Francisco or
Yeah.
something. All I remember is good times with the Ferrari.
Same. I remember
I
it.
don't remember complaining at all.
No.
The 458 was beautiful and it was fantastic.
This one's, I feel like this is more work than the 458.
This is way nicer than the 458.
Really?
Way nicer.
What do you mean by that?
Like-
Nicer how? Like
build
the
quality.
build quality?
Build quality completely.
I agree. I remember us taking part the Ferrari and we were like, really? That's it?
That's
it was
it?
like, yeah.
It's
Really?
like it's
Yeah,
it's
it's all
like a
like-
race car. It's like a race car, but if you're paying, how much are those? Like 200K or something?
More than that. Yeah, they're just like metal box tubing structure.
Yeah, when you buy a $200,000 car, you're thinking like you're gonna get some nice build quality. It's built like a race car. There's shims everywhere. The gapping is about Chotch boy gapping.
Maybe that's why it was so easy to put back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will give that. It is super easy to put together because they think race car.
Well, the boys are broken on the front. I'm gonna jump to the back of the car. And this is something we haven't really looked at yet. I don't assume there to be too much damage. I really hope there's not
brackets behind this.
So I'm actually really curious to see what it's gonna look like. This one's still good.
Hold on. There's a bolt right here.
Uh-oh.
That looks lame.
Cracked and broken.
Looks like this is attached to this, so you should be able to unbolt that and replace this bumper. Like this looks like it's a unison part.
Yeah, let's go up with it. You want to take this off real quick? And then we can go up with it?
All right, so unfortunately, the classic, we found more hidden damage, but we weren't expecting this. But here's the good thing. It's actually pretty replaceable, but this counts as structural damage, as painful as that word sounds, because this is not a part you can actually order from Porsche because it is considered structural. But I think I was able to find one on eBay used. So hopefully we should be okay. But what we've done is we've just unbolted all of the hardware on the side, and now we're gonna start heating it up with a torch, and then we're gonna start doing what Dylan's doing on the other side and start prying out the glue. And this piece should slide right out. And then our new one comes in, we should bolt it right back, and we should clear out of all of our other issues because it doesn't look like anything other than this little bend in the removable frame was damaged. It's just this. So we got pretty lucky with that.
Yeah, if you look at in here, see the bolt holes line up?
Yep.
Where the threaded portions
Yep.
are? Just from removing all of the, I guess they're still bolts, but, and taking the adhesive off, look, it already moved.
Yeah, it did. It's shifted. Like
Just
almost
from
that
relieving
little
the-
half millimeter that way.
The tension in the fastener.
Yep. The Porsche that keeps on giving. Let's start moving. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a W.
Hell
I think
yeah.
it's pretty light.
It's super light. We're gonna keep this because we're going to be using all the hardware off of it. That is sick. Kind of sick how it's like that.
I really enjoy how
Modular.
this car is.
Okay, well this job is done until this part shows up in the mail. That was easier than I thought it would be. So we're gonna start by taking off the front tub of this car because remember, we're gonna be using our new tub and putting it on this tub. But we're gonna be doing it in a way that is gonna be kind of Frankensteining both of them together. So we wanna be careful of how much we do actually remove, because we really only need pretty much this part forward. We'd like to keep the original strut towers because this is perfectly intact. And to do this, we're gonna start by removing piece by piece each panel that holds all this together. Now, this is all put together with seam sealer and rivets. So we're gonna spend some time and drill out all the rivets and remove all of the seam sealer from this front tub. This is gonna be a very time-consuming process, and there's probably a faster way to go about this, but because we've never done this before, and we're kind of learning about the car as we go along with it, this is the route we're gonna take. For you guys, it's gonna look like maybe a minute's worth of work, but it's probably gonna be a few hours worth of work. So let's start scraping and start drilling.
Oh my gosh.
So I feel like the reason that I'd like to do this personally is just because I want to see how it's made, so I can remove as little as possible when we do this section.
Yeah.
And then that section we can see how much we actually have to remove to put on the frame rail, because we're gonna have to take pretty much that whole tub can stay together, which is sick. This top corner right here that we just did, that went like that, is gonna stay on that one.
Could be like an intrusive way to do it, but my other like thought process is if we only need this rail forward, wouldn't it be faster if we just got a saw and just sawed this thing completely in half and then started hitting this way? Because if we need to get to the inside of this, we could avoid all this rivet work if we just cut it from there and then chiseled back.
Feeling like a space marine right now. To get to the rest, we're gonna just open this pocket up. So I'm gonna just pick a spot in front of the subframe mounts, so like 2 inches back on both sides, and just go right up from there. And then I'm gonna cut this nose off, and then we can peel back the frame rails from the inside by drilling the rivets. So same process, we're just gonna cut the timeline down by like 4 hours and 7 drill bits. I totaled the chassis. I'm just kidding. Am I though? Am I serious? Cracked, flipped upside down. So,
There's an LS in it
Yeah.
for some reason.
just how I like it, dude. Long and short, peeled this portion back right here, right? So we cut it, got all the rivets off, peeled those pieces off. This was the most crucial, delicate, can't over drill area because it's the main mating point for the new front tub to mate onto the car. That's gonna align all of our body panels and everything. So it was a super scary section. So I started with this first after we got all the holes drilled. And after peeling that off, I realized that this portion now is mated to it and this portion. So now I need to take my time drilling these 2 rivets out. Once I get those peeled back, then the apron, or whatever you want to call this, will be totally free.
From this seam here, is this what's going to be floating, and everything else will be gone, right?
So this tie right here
Yeah.
will be gone. And then this part on the underside is what will remain. And this frame rail is what will remain.
I see.
So this portion,
Everything
vertical,
as well as this,
is
off.
will be off.
Okay.
And then that'll leave us the frame rails and the apron or support, fender support, to locate everything. And then we'll pick a point on here. We'll cut it. We'll do a notch, a 45 and a notch to align everything. We'll pick the same point on the front tub, but this was the main alignment point, so that was the scariest part because this is all whatever we select.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a randomization.
There's been a lot that has been done to this. Our goal is to remove this motor from this subframe because as you can see, I could separate the subframe from itself.
Wow.
How'd you get so strong?
I took Dylan Schmerzel's workout plan.
Oh, definitely don't DM me for that because you're going to be disappointed.
I've been taking apart all the arms and we're gonna sell the ceramic brakes because TJ has different plans. He has different wheel ideas. I don't know if you're allowed to know that, but he's not here.
They said that. He's keeping the Steely so that he has the option to run an 18 wheel.
Yeah. So he wants the Steelies, so the carbon ceramics, whoever wants the rear ones, they're available. I took them off. After that, we're gonna try and remove the transmission from here, because manual transmission. I'm excited for that. I'm not gonna do that yet until I have Dylan's supervision, because I'm big dummy idiot. Don't know what to do. If I take this off, I feel like it's gonna go whoop. I finished all that. That stuff is over there.
It's really crazy to see this all laid out like this.
This is really light.
Yeah, actually the PCCBs are extremely light.
These are super sick. Yeah, this is this is really cool. This is a really cool model.
This is it right here.
Yeah, she's a little torn, and I got a bunch of, I don't have any more gloves, so I'm getting greasy pissy on my hands. That's all done. Now I'm moving on to this guy, which I'm gonna take this off. We need to steal
some coolant lines and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna steal all of these coolant lines from this subframe, which means I had to drop the gas tank.
Which also means you have to do the exact same thing we did to that.
Stand by while I go rip my hair off, and definitely am not my
All right, I'm here to give you guys a quick update. TJ's in Miami, Dylan's not here, but last night he actually finished chopping everything that he needed to chop off the front end of this car off. It's ready to receive its new front tub, which is sitting over there. Just wanted to give you this update so you can see how everything looks once he was finished. So now we have a front tub for sale, probably pretty cheap. Really crazy to see a GT3 like this.
When we got this car, we unfortunately found some cracked casting, a ton of busted pipes, damaged coil packs, damaged sensors, damaged harness. Today we're gonna be attempting to fix everything on this engine so we can get it ready to put it back in the GT3. But first things first, we have to fix the cracked casting and add new material to the engine. So we had to call in a specialist by the name of Bump. So Bump did a really good job. He added a bunch of material, added our new threads, and I'm really happy with it. Dylan spent some time with him, and I know you're really happy with the results as well. So Dylan's gonna be focusing on grinding down this section, making sure that it is flat so that we can actually put all the pieces back. And you're gonna be cleaning up a lot of this stuff.
The only thing that I'm nervous about, to be totally honest, is this surface, because it's for a crush washer and it's the oil galley.
And that needs to be like really flat to get a good seal, right?
Correct, and I'm not a CNC or anything, so I'm gonna do my best as a human to find the best tooling I can and a steady hand and just go really slow on this section. Bump built all this up super well so I can grind it down and make it look as factory as possible. I'll thin it out, bring it down, give it a radius. He machined this in-house, matched the threads on the casting that existed, found all the cracks and little pitting and pots, ground them out, welded them down. I'll make this flat, and everything else is close to factory as possible.
Cool. Now while Dylan's doing all that grinding, I'm gonna spend time on the water pump assembly. This part has a bunch of cracked casting, and rather than just fixing that, we were actually able to order that brand new from Porsche, which where we could replace parts brand new, we are going to try to do that. So I'm gonna start disassembling this while Dylan gets after that.
Oh, this whole thing's integrated. Sick. I envisioned this being sealed to the block for some reason, but the fact that it's just a isolated housing but that mounts on the block is even cooler.
And to preface this again, we've never done this. We don't know what we're doing. So Dylan and I are gonna do our best to figure this out.
Let's go exploring. There you go.
So the first thing that I'm gonna start taking off is this U-pipe bend here. This is actually connected to the water plate housing. So before that comes off, this needs to come off. Seems it's just an E10, 3 bolts on each side. Now, I'm also assuming that this is going to have quite a bit of water come out of it. Hopefully it doesn't make too much of a mess. I believe we've gotten most of it out, but some of this job's gonna get a little bit messy. But I actually find a lot of enjoyment out of this, and I really want this video to kind of be like a relaxed and chill type vibe, because it's a very slow process, but at the same time very exciting, and you can kind of just geek out on this process. And what's been really cool is so far a lot of the stuff on this engine is pretty accessible, pretty easy to get to. It's a little intimidating just because of the price and because it is a Porsche, but I'm excited to learn more about it today and kind of get our hands dirty. Okay, now that that's free, looks like I can now work around the housing. Have to take that off at one point.
we might have some trouble right here. This is the bottom of the thermostat, and that's supposed to be a circle. Looks a little ovaled out to me. Luckily, our Porsche parts haven't been taking that long to get to us, but we thought that might be okay, but now upon looking on it, looks a little ovaled. And with our new pipe that goes in there, it might be too ovaled out to fit it back in.
All right, so I was doing my research. If this motor were real fresh and not sitting for 2 years, I should be able to just grab this and pull. The thing that retains this on is that 3-bolt bracket that just holds this floating. So anyways, here goes nothing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Locked up, all the bolts out. They seem to be pretty loosely torqued, so that's exciting. Oh, that's nice.
Good job, Dylan.
You wanna do the honors?
Yeah.
Feels so good.
That was awesome.
I'm really excited about that.
Good job. I'm amazed with how this came out. I have to give the utmost credit to Bump and Dylan. Dylan spent probably 4 or 5 hours collectively grinding everything down, and you can't even tell anymore that this was ever damaged. Especially this like lower part, I was like, where was that even wrong? And Dylan did a really good job sculpting out this whole section. He really took his time, and there's not a lot of people that I would trust with that. So I just want to like give praise and shout out to Dylan, because that is artwork. That is so perfect. And now this bung, he even got a little paint pen and transferred the paint pen to the washer that's sitting on it to make sure we get a flush seal so we don't get any leaks. It's really cool that we were able to save this whole entire section, because that was, I remember when we saw that on the back of the engine, on the back of the car, and we were so bummed out. The fact that that is done and fixed, like, takes a lot of weight off our shoulder, and I'm just really stoked that we have the people and the skill sets within this building to make that happen. So shout out to you, Dylan. And now that that's done, we can go ahead and start putting back all of our pieces. I actually just overnighted something from Porsche, which is going to help us today, because if you remember at our thermostat yesterday, there is a little tube that goes in right here that it looks a little bit ovaled and a little bit screwed up. So I was like, you know what? Let's not tempt our fate here. Let's just order a new part from Porsche, and Porsche was able to overnight that. So we have a brand new one. We'll just have to swap over all the hardware and all that stuff. And it's time for us to get this engine back together.
And remember, our intake manifold had a crack on the top, and just as a preemptive thing, we decided to go ahead and just order a new one so we don't have any problems. And which was nice, is actually came with the new sensor, and it came with a lot of stuff I thought we were gonna need to swap over. So the only thing we do need to do is swap over our throttle body, and this thing should be ready to go back on the car. We took apart the whole entire front tub, deconstructed everything from our RS tub to build the new front tub for the 911. Well, it went off to SOS to get some paint and for them to do some body work on this thing to get it ready. And now it's a few days later, the tub is back in our possession. They even laid some paint down on it. So it's time for us to start reassembling. We've done a bunch of disassembly. Now we're gonna start reassembling the whole front end and make this one final car and make it a solid unit. But first, Oscar, I have a little gift for you. I got you a limited edition magazine, and I'll even sign it for you if you'd like.
Would you? Could you sign for my papi?
Damn, the print on that.
To my, oh, I like,
Yeah,
damn,
the
this
print's
is
really nice.
It's pretty cool.
That is pretty sick. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Fucking King George himself, huh?
Yeah, they gave me a front cover. I don't know why.
These 3 cars are mine.
Yeah.
That's what.
I want you to sign it like,
You could put it in the SOS office.
I want you to sign it like this. To my papi from your mijo. Te quiero mucho.
I'll do that.
Exactly
Whoa,
like that.
crazy.
I'll do that.
Okay, to my,
It's MI.
no, it's me. Okay, give it for me, papi. That's fine. From tu mijo.
To me.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So if you buy merch today, you're getting that too. All right, included. Sell that thing on eBay. It'll be worth something someday. Dude. Not today, but someday, 20, 30 years from now, it's gonna be worth
It's all right. And we're on to the Porsche. So we took measurements from the tub and we took measurements from the actual frame of the car, and we're going to be cutting both of them so it equals the correct distance and length that we need. So at this point, there is absolutely zero turning back. One cut done incorrectly could cost us thousands. So after taking our time and removing the necessary material, came out pretty great. Now we just have to see if the tub will slip into the frame. So the idea with keeping this inner structure here is so that when we slide the new tub on, we can utilize all the factory reinforcement. The whole entire rectangle was cut with precision, so now this section can slip into this section, and we can have the proper structure. Now let's slide it on and see how it fits. This is our first mock-up. There's gonna be more to go for this, but yeah! Slight snag.
Let me give her a little hump. Still a lot of pressure.
Couple pumps.
Oh, it's so close to that spot, Damn. All right, first impressions with the tub slipped in. We're done. The car is complete. Dylan just installed like the ABS bracket too, just to see if both sides will line up, and it lined up perfectly. And obviously it was probably gonna be a little bit of adjusting before we actually put the welder to it. We're gonna double check all the different surfaces and make sure that everything is lined up, and probably lay up a fender or two before we start seam sealing and putting in rivets, but that is sick.
I want to point something out. This is fantastic to the three of us, but homies, just do this.
Yeah, you guys just do this in your
You
sleep.
just do this. This is like, to us, that's why you haven't seen me, because I'm just like, don't touch me with that.
Dude, this is sick.
What the
How's it
heck?
line up?
Great. Like, I think everything takes just like, you know, it's all pretty flimsy.
Yeah.
Just a little hand movement here and there, but honestly,
Rivet, seam seal. Oh, look at that.
yeah, like we could put a bolt through that and a bolt through that.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that is really cool. It looks really good. And with the paint on there too. Looks like it's supposed to be here. Doesn't look like this is from a different car now. About last night, Dylan stayed here and started lining up all of our panels. And as I mentioned earlier, that we were just gonna do it temporarily with nut and bolt rather than doing rivets, because we're really trying to make sure that this thing is straight before we actually start hard mounting everything with rivets and seam sealer and welding. This is super exciting to see. It's very promising that we were actually able to get all the holes to line up, given that this is a Carrera tub mixed with the GT3 body. The RS back panel from the tub. If you remember the video when we took this apart, it didn't fit because it didn't have the right back housing to fit the gas tank. So everything's in, everything is saved. I think at this point you would think that this came on this car, which is super exciting. Dylan and I continually talked about how this is the scariest part of the build. Once we get this done, we're gonna be hitting the ground running, and I'm super stoked. We're really trying to do this as right as possible, us not being a collision center, us not being a Porsche collision center. We're trying to do every single thing we can so that when this car goes back together, even if you know it's crashed and you start taking things apart, you're not gonna see anything that just looks like it was half-assed or see anything that looks like it was ever repaired. Apart from getting all of the panels to match up, Dylan had the bright idea to take the front subframe from the car and attach it, because that actually marries the front tub and marries the chassis together. But what's exciting is that the subframe connects to the chassis, and it also stretches and marries to the front tub, and everything aligned just as we had hoped. So again, we're running down the trajectory that we wanted to be towards, and that's when you put this on, you really wanna hope that it's straight, and you really wanna hope that there's no, there's nothing too out of shape or too out of line to where nothing's gonna line up or you're gonna have issues. And the fact that that is on is a great idea. I didn't even think of that. Let me just say, it's very exciting. It's a very nervous part of this whole entire build. So
these two portions are doweled as well. So like these are oversized by like a 1/4 inch, and these two are doweled. And when I doweled these and snugged them up, all 4 of these bolts were dead center, like not off at all. I don't know, there's a brake bracket up in here for the ABS, and 1 bolt hole lands on this side and 1 bolt hole lands on this side. So it was another piece for us to line up when we put the nose on. Everything was just perfectly lined up, perfectly flawless.
Now that I've gotten you guys caught up to speed with the front tub, now that it's connected, the next thing we have to do is try to put some body panels on the car and see if it lines up straight. That's gonna be the biggest indication if this job is done incorrectly, is if we put body panels on and we just can't get body gaps to line up. So let's lower it and throw on a fender. So our fenders are a little bit damaged. This is the front right fender. It has a little bend here in the outer lip area, but nothing that's really gonna affect anything. Our front left fender, on the other hand, is actually pretty mangled. Now, Dylan spent some time with a hammer trying to save this front fender, but it's not perfect. We're gonna try to align it just to get an idea of what it looks like, but we're gonna need to order a new one. There's no saving this one. And unfortunately, our headlights are busted. Although we will be able to use them to at least see if they fit in the car and line up with the car. We're gonna have to order new ones. That is just not gonna fly. And then of course this one's completely screwed up. But again, we'll be able to use this to place this in the fender to see if everything lines up and looks straight. And the hood that came on the red GT3 is also pretty bent. It has a big buckle here in the back. And although it looks relatively okay, when it comes to lining this thing up and getting body gaps, it's not gonna work. So what we've done is we've taken the hood from the green GT3RS. And if you don't remember, this hood wasn't in too bad of shape. The real damage actually happened underneath the hood. And what you can't tell now, but the underside of this carbon here started to separate from the green and kind of was splitting like this. So Dylan has put in some seam seal, let it dry overnight just to close it up. And although it's damaged underneath, structurally, this thing is still straight and will be a good test subject for our hood when we throw this on the car.
Do you think you can save that and run it on the car to have a .2 hood?
I would say you could, but it's just who knows how much this is gonna be. Like you could absolutely save this. I wouldn't say you'd have the same structural integrity, but if you were to, get some carbon and patch all of it, you could. I selfishly want to hang it on my wall. So I'm gonna keep it as a little token. And for those that are like, oh, well, let's go buy one. That hood's 20 grand. Not gonna buy one.
Higher, higher, higher.
Ooh! Push my luck. Put it in the wrong hole, you know what I'm saying?
How'd you even do that? How'd you even do that?
Ah, yes. Feels a little bit better there.
TJ put it in the wrong hole.
And I forgot to mention that when it comes to the front bumper, the GT3 did not come with one, and the green RS also didn't come with one. But I did order one, and it's actually gonna be here in 4 days. So we don't have a front bumper, but we have everything else. So I think it's gonna be good enough.
Oh.
Damn.
It's got a tub and a hood.
It's weird seeing this with the tub on it.
It feels so. I'm just like fingers crossed right now, man. Because if these line up within a few millimeters, right? 1/8 of an inch, whatever. That's enough room to know that the front is straight. I know we don't have a frame jig and all that, but we've measured it all. It seems to be perfect, but if everything lines up pretty good right now, I'm gonna sleep tonight.
We're really trying to take every single precaution, and we're really following off of SOS's lead on this. Everything lines up from the tub. The subframe is an even added bonus to get that on. And now the fact that we can get multiple body panels to be straight, even though we're missing the front bumper, I think that's more than enough to have some confidence that we are in the right place. We're where we need to be. So let's go on and throw on the front fender. Makes it really easy when there's nothing under the fender to put this on. It looks good. It looks really good. So we've lined up the hardware with the previous wear marks on the fender. So this is first guess, no adjusting, just going off of the wear marks. Let's see how close it lines up. If the fitment on this is similar to how it was before it crashed, with this new tub, this body line should be pretty solid.
Oh my gosh.
I'm first live action, both your faces right now.
Damn.
Shall I look at it?
That's pretty
Yeah.
factory.
Yo!
Now it needs
One of these?
Now remember, we don't have the bumper, so there's no little bumper stops.
Dude.
Wow.
It's been real nice. You don't need me anymore, I'm out of here.
Dude, look at this too. Wow. Because if any of this front tub was off by even 1/8 of an inch, none of this would be close. None of this would be close.
Right here.
Dude, that's so perfect.
There's not like a big
Wow.
center dip or a big top hole like that.
That's epic.
It's better than the fitment on the hood on your Black Mark IV.
Just cause. Cause we can.
Take her to the optometrist.
And then down. And then it should.
Oh my God, it looks like a car. Whoa!
Like we're pregnant.
Dude, it's almost here.
That's
There's just
big
a
relief.
engine that needs to get disassembled and put a manual gearbox and figuring out how to put it
That-
all back in the car, and there's still all of that to do. But as far as like, look at this, everything here forward wasn't there. All right, we'll try this other fender.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be too screwed up for it to like be accurate, but for the sake of having it, we're gonna do it.
It is supposed to go.
Oh, this is supposed to be like this.
So externally, it's not too bad, right, for this outer skin. But all of the headlight bracket and the mounting bracket is all pretty F.
all screwed up.
So that's the part that makes it hard to fix, in my opinion.
Dude, looking at the underside, you gotta save it and run it. That's so sick.
There's a lot of aftermarket things out there that make aftermarket dry carbon hoods and stuff.
That's just a lot of carbon work. And you'd see the patches. You could be
Sure, yeah.
the best
Yeah,
ever, and you'd
you'd
still see a
see
seam line.
What do you think, Pep?
I think
Yeah.
what a ridiculous thing that's going on. Look at that car. And look at this car. We're not almost done, but we're almost like it's gonna be a car.
We were saying like once this is done, dude, this is the hard part. Yeah. The scary part. I think everything else is gonna be easy compared to this.
Again, if this doesn't line up, this fender's effed. So I don't think it's a clear indication of having anything wrong with the alignment. If anything, going to show us that this fender's effed. Yeah, see, watch. If this lines up properly,
It also fits right here at the
this
bottom.
fender's messed up.
Yeah.
But if you look back here at these two gaps, I'm pretty happy with all this. And I know that this is messed up.
Gets a little wide in the middle.
Yeah.
And a little
But
close up here.
But when you lift it and you look at it, it's clearly out of spec with its alignments
for sure.
and how much adjustment you have. I don't know. I'm gonna call it good. I'm gonna call it good. You wanna try and jam a headlight in there?
You want to start it?
was
Let's do a cold start.
Oh, I feel good about it. Look at that. Good enough.
For the imaginary purpose of this demonstration, like that fender is completely screwed up and it almost works. So now that we have everything on the car, we're gonna give this the green light. The green light to do our welding on the frame. Now once the welding is done, we'll be able to take off all of the hardware holding the tub together and piece by piece remove the hardware and rivet the whole entire tub as well as seam seal where necessary. Once all of that happens and the welding is done, our front tub is gonna be officially finished. It's gonna be done. And we'll be able to move on to the transmission and putting the engine back in the car. Also, it's gonna be very cool once we finish the welding. We'll be able to go in. We bought all the sample paint that SOS sprayed, and we can do some spray touch-ups in here. And we're gonna make sure that all of the seam sealer and everything is fluent throughout the whole entire front end of the car, so that you'll never be able to know this car was ever repaired. Not that we're trying to hide it, but like, if you're gonna buy this car or ever own it, you're never gonna wanna be able to see that it was crashed. You want it to be perfect. So we're really trying to take our time, not cut any corners, and challenge ourselves to do that. So I asked my friend Mark to come in and weld up the rest of the car. And at this point, we can finally close the chapter on what is structural damage to this car. From here, we can finally move on to putting the engine back together, swapping the new gearbox into the car, and hopefully getting ready to start this car for his first time. So I haven't shown you guys this in its complete form, but you're gonna see at the same time that Oscar sees it. A certified body shop, a certified man who knows his things.
Certified dad bod poppy.
Certified Dad Pop Poppy, that's his Instagram handle. That was a good plug. Look at it. What do you think? It looks great. It looks good, doesn't it?
Let him say it.
Sorry, okay. Sorry, I really got excited.
I think Dylan's and you and the whole team here at the Honey Co.
Yeah.
are Porsche certified.
Wow. It's mainly Dylan in that regard, but that looks...
Sheesh! Stamp of approval.
We called SOS to get their expert help on laying down the seam sealer for the GT3 so that when we're done with the repairs, it never looks like it was ever crashed to begin with. We also had SOS bring their specialized equipment so we could lay down the rubberized sealant, which is kind of like an undercoating, for the inside of the front tub so it reduces road noise and again, matches OEM quality. Do you ever have those mornings when you're just so fired up? You finish a coffee, you get a triple shot, you get all amped up, and you go and you try to just beat up one of your friends. I just did that to Dylan, and he just picked me up and threw me down. We're gonna go sneak attack him. I'm gonna kick his ass. Let's go. You're still filming. Turn it off! They can't see this! What?
That's your bathroom. You have a little foyer, whatever it's called.
Wait, that's all the master?
Oh gosh. Boys? Boys?
I'm not going out like this. I'm not going out like this. It's not gonna happen.
Better watch out, boy. Better watch out, boy. Results of the front tub are looking good, boys. Front tub's looking spiced up. Let me show you how it looks. Crash GT3 who?
Not me.
Not me.
You.
Look at that.
This is a fresh, clean title car.
Oh! Oh, that's a stud. That looks great.
Are you pointing at me when you said that?
Nah, you're more like a wimp.
Yeah, that's
okay.
I wish you would take advantage of it.
Oh, okay. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Actually, he's a very handsome and kind individual.
Thanks, Calvin. I feel the same about you. You want pizza for lunch?
It's gonna make me absolutely waterfall out my ass.
Waterfall?
I don't know.
I'm gonna see you after like 6, so I don't have to deal with it.
Waterfall? Toilet's out of order.
If I could clip that, I would. I'd make that my screensaver on my laptop, Cal. I see that every morning. I'd log into some emails and I would see that. I would see that. This looks really good. Now this is 100% done. Front tub structure done.
There's so much that needs to go back in. The gas tank, which, you know what we didn't do, Teej? We didn't test the gas tank before we welded everything, because TJ literally was like,
nah,
I don't care.
Commit. I'm committing.
He's in.
I'm committing. And all the comments are like, oh, just use another 911 gas tank, but it's not a touring spec. No, we want to use the GT3 tub because the last thing we want to do is put this thing together with mixed match parts. We want this to be everything perfect. I don't know how far we're gonna get at all with any of this, but while this is going down, we're doing a little more surgery in the back. Dylan is prepping the rear bash bar support, rear bash frame to go back in. If you don't remember, we took that whole thing out because it was damaged.
There's our new one.
And now we have a brand new one that we got and SOS has sprayed for us. So this will be going in today when we have all the necessary tools to do it because we're Porsche techs. Actually, Dylan's Porsche tech. Calvin's like that newbie in training. Calvin's kind of like that. He's kind of like the intern in the Porsche world. You're like the intern.
I'm like the
You're
guy.
like still.
I'm the guy that took apart a GT3RS and doesn't know how to put it back together. So I'd be absolutely
Well, don't
surprised.
say that because this scares me because you took this whole front end apart and that's kind of your responsibility to put back.
I have no idea what's going on.
Calvin has headphones and he can't hear me, so I just.
Whatever CJ say,
What?
I think he's handsome and smart, and I believe every word he says. I can definitely hear him, so everything he says is true.
Sometimes Calvin doesn't wear underwear, and when he farts, he grabs
He's
his
also
ass a little
saying Calvin
scared.
has no idea what's going on. Also.
Sometimes he farts and grabs his ass when no one's looking, and I've seen him do it. And sometimes it's a little bit questionable. Sometimes I wonder if it actually sometimes splats on the inside of his pants, but I guess we'll never know. For the next 20 minutes or so, Dylan and I went ahead and prepped the surface for the new bar going in. This consisted of getting off all the external residue. While Dylan was using the chisel, I was using the wire wheel to kind of speed up the process. Rear frame bar, seam sealed, drilled, mounted, straight. Yeah!
What happened? Is it on your face? Oh.
Dude.
Well, hey, now you did half the work.
This is the most exciting part of the whole entire rebuild, in my opinion, because you slowly start to see the whole car come together. As we're reassembling the front end, we're literally just checking photos and looking at what we have and trying to piece it back. There's a few things I'm noticing that we still need to replace. The one thing, this little green piece that's from the green RS, this is a front bumper support system. When we put it back on the car, we noticed it was a little bit bent. Should be a very cheap part to get from Porsche, but I'm still gonna put it on now so we can continue with the process because every piece kind of layers on top of each other. So even if it's damaged, if it still fits, we're throwing it on there to get it all back. But looking at the inside of this front tub, you guys have seen this over the last like few weeks. We're going, it's so cool. So the front crash bar going back on, and we also have brand new hardware for everything. So we also have all the original hardware, but we're doing our best to not use any of our, as much as we love our nuts and bolts, to not use anything, because we want this car to be 100% Porsche certified. This whole front end assortment is all brand new hardware for the front end. Not sure where all of it goes quite yet, but I do know it goes on the front of the car. So that's a start. It's a really satisfying feeling that this is all just going back together. Definitely a little bit of worrisome that we just chopped together and Frankensteined our front tub, but no dramas. No dramas here.
There's a bit of a dry, okay? Listen.
Look at this.
In the gray tub that we got was this module. The wiring harness on... The wiring harness... The wiring harness on the...
I'm waiting this time.
Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Okay. I don't even know what I was gonna say anymore. Listen, this module, I have no idea what it does. It's a converter thing. I don't know what that means.
This one came on the
it's not
gray
in
tub.
that... It doesn't matter. TJ told me that it came from a 911, same model. Clearly it's not, because it's here.
Weight saving. We don't need it.
It's gonna be a problem.
No, it's not.
Why it's gonna be drama?
Why are you speaking that into existence? It's not gonna be a problem. It's not gonna be a problem.
This definitely doesn't convert power for something.
Okay, this came in our donor tub. When we look back at our RS and our GT3 photos, this module never existed. It's fine. Our harness doesn't even have a plug-in for this. It's fine. It's fine. Look at it. Does that look like it's worried? Oh. Hey, check this out.
Hey!
Check this out, check this out, check this out. No dramas.
All our problems are solved. The radiator fan shroud is good.
Coming together.
And then when the electronics don't work, Calvin, what the fuck?
Well, that's probably because you forgot something.
Okay.
Okay, so this fan and shroud came off with the right-hand side of the car. The right-hand side of the car didn't have as much damage as the left. So our left-hand fan and radiator and shroud blown to pieces. So we ordered everything brand new. Now we're reverse building, which I think is the most fun part. So beyond that tongue going wild in there, we're going to be reassembling this, but on the other side. And we have all the new pieces together, and I'm already seeing some of the pieces that I just saw over there. Look at the back side, the bottom of this fan, and that wiring tucks behind there. The shroud will go last. I gotta find this and some gray hardware. Oh, got him. Got him. Excuse me, sir. Did you drop your wallet? Oh, did you drop your wallet?
It's not my wallet.
Seems to look like your wallet.
That makes sense to me. Well, you're missing something, by the way. The isolati boys.
Is that a rubber isolator?
Yeah.
Stand by. Okay, look. You see these little white nipples? I think I got them. Hey, do these nipples look familiar? Look at this little top bracket piece. Okay, what do you want? Rubber isolators?
I want you and your love.
Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen, kid.
That was my last reason.
Okay, rubber isolators, and I found a big yellow thing. I need you to be real first.
I'm here. I'm real. Just hold it. I'm holding it. You know?
Does this look like this?
I think so.
Oh, that's real good.
Cool. That's so cool. Porsche, good on you, mate.
Oh, that was sick.
That's super fun.
That's super fun. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do the Calvin face. That's super fun. While Calvin and I have been in the front, Dylan's been over here in the back. This is super sick. This is the rear structure bar that was damaged in ours. Dylan spent the last like 2 hours prepping it, literally hammering the surface to get everything flat. Dylan did this all by himself. We were doing that. Me and Calvin were playing with Legos while Dylan was building skyscrapers. This big monstrosity of a piece, AKA known as the subframe. This has been sitting out of the car for 2 months. But not anymore. Gas tank went in, no issues. I thought there was gonna be an issue because if you don't remember, we had the Frankenstein front tub reconstruction, but it fit. Now it's time to put the subframe back in, which is also gonna be really difficult. Let me tell you why. Because of this guy right here.
Play with it like
this
that.
This guy right here.
Hey, whoa,
is
let go of my
steering shaft, input shaft.
Let go of my
It's
shaft.
what controls the steering.
Oh, don't hold
Getting
it like
this,
that. Don't hold it like that.
Getting this guy to line up,
okay,
gonna be difficult. You may be asking yourself, do Calvin and TJ know how to reassemble a subframe on a 991.2 Porsche GT3?
No!
Kind of.
No,
I don't. You took it apart. A lot of pressure here, Calvin.
Second then.
So it's looking pretty lined up. All we have to do is get that peg into that hole and do it on both sides. You're just gonna send it. I'm looking pretty okay over here. Hold on, go up a little bit. And now you could go down. Calvin waited the last minute to let me know that the arm is sandwiched in between the subframe and the chassis. So it's gonna go like this as we lower it. So we have to thread the stud in the hole and then put this down at the same time. Hey, if you ever thought it'd be a good idea to put all the hardware on the table that you put underneath the car.
Give me a second, I'll
Aw, dude, keep searching for it.
Maybe I should just put it on.
Are you being serious right now?
I'm 100%.
You're being for real.
I'm being absolutely for real.
Super for real.
Yeah, I'm
Easy, dude.
Oh,
what are you doing? On second thought, we probably should have put the subframe on the transmission stand.
No, it doesn't.
I tried to tell him.
It doesn't work. He actually didn't say. He thought it in his head.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
No,
I definitely.
No.
I said 4 times, how are we gonna use the table? Because the moment we lower the chassis on the table, you're not gonna be able to see anything.
That doesn't mean transmission stand.
The real question of this whole series, because I've been thinking about this a lot. Am I gonna wanna get rid of the UV purple GT3RS once the .2 GT3 manual is finished? Because the .2 is faster, It's better. It's not an RS, and the RS means a lot to me because Sabrina got it for me, but I don't want to get rid of that until I get another RS. Maybe TJ doesn't know what he wants, so he says things and doesn't know if he means them. Leave a comment down below. What would you do? Would you rather keep the manual GT3 that you're in for a lot less than what it's actually worth and get rid of the UV purple? Or you just keep both, but they're really the same car. Keeping both of them for a lot amount of time would be really fun, but you wouldn't want to keep them forever because it's more or less the same car. Okay, so we have 4 points of connection up front, and then in the back on one side, I just put in these bolts and I'm actually able to thread it by hand. I just want to say how impressed I am that this actually fits perfectly. Like the alignment is perfect. I am so proud of that. That's really insane.
Good job. It looks like it's no repair at all.
No, it looks literally perfect. So in theory, if we go up with the car, it should stay. Whoa, whoa.
I was kind of skeptical.
Oh my God, that's crazy, bro. I feel that we should not be doing this, but here we are. Now that the subframe is in the car, we're gonna focus on putting everything that went on top of the gas tank back in the car. So over in this table is where we've organized everything that came out. Now we're gonna put it on this table and start figuring out how to put it back.
I like how he says that, but he says that with a straight face, but
that's what you said.
The reality is, I don't remember at all the order of operation.
While Calvin and I are doing the front end, Dylan is focusing on the rear, and now that we put in the new rear frame bar and all the sealant, we can finally put its last coat of paint on it and call it good. God, that's Calvin and I have run into a problem. Somewhere in this area, there's a couple foam pieces that fit in this corner. I've done everything that I can to try to find something online that shows where they go. They always have like a really brief description, like firewall foam or cabin air filter foam, but it has to be like placed perfectly. If any of you know where to find a schematic, or you have a photo of a 991 lying around with no body panels on it so we can see how the foam goes back, comment it down below. I'm gonna be reading all the comments to hopefully find someone who is a Porsche nerd who knows exactly where those went, because I have no idea. And Calvin can't figure it out either. Now that the paint has dried, the rear end looks like nothing ever happened to it. And while we were doing all of that and getting everything buttoned up, Dylan was finagling with the RS engine and the PDK. And what do you know? Transmission is disassembled, and now we can move on to putting the manual transmission finally on the back of this engine and replace the whole new clutch setup. This right here is a floating $17,000 transmission that came on the back of our engine off of our green RS. And in today's episode, we are gonna be discarding of this transmission, and we're gonna be installing our brand new manual gearbox to go back into our GT3 that we've been rebuilding. So when replacing the gearbox, the first thing we were looking for, the first things that we questioned, is there anything really different between the PDK transmission and the manual gearbox that we're putting on the car? And is there anything different that goes to the engine side? The only things that we've really been able to identify is the fact that the PDK transmission uses 2 transmission coolers. You have one on the left side and one on the right side. The one from the left has coolant hoses that wrap around and through the transmission and meet back up with the side on the right that flow all the way to the front right of the transmission. And both of those lines connect right here to the back of the engine. Now, apart from that, the manual transmission doesn't have much different other than the fact that it doesn't have a bunch of plugins on it like the PDK does. And that is simply because the PDK transmission uses a complete separate computer system just to monitor the shift points and monitor shifting through all of the gears. And the manual gearbox doesn't have a lot of those sections because you're doing it all yourself. You'll notice on the manual transmission, there's actually 0 bracing in the back, which is okay because we're gonna be able to utilize all of the bracing and mounting points off the back of the PDK. Everything else is pretty much gonna stay. You can see here on the back, there's a plug-in for some sort of electrical unit, and on the back of our manual transmission, there's actually a hole here. So it looks like we're missing that, but that's actually where the slave's gonna go. This series literally just consists of unboxing boxes for more boxes and for more boxes. And today's epic unboxing, one of my favorite things was this whole entire car. Oh my God. And this is a brand new Olin's suspension setup. Now the car's not ready to drive yet or roll yet, but we are ready to assemble the front end section of the car and put back the brakes and the spindles and the hubs.
Box.
Is it empty?
Feel it.
Is it a filler box? There's definitely something in there.
I know, but it doesn't feel like anything. It's like
Here you go. Let's see. Well, maybe it's just that light. I don't really know. In the last year or so, we've been running Olin's on all of our cars, and they're my absolute favorite, and we are lucky enough that they think that we're a good idea to work with. And I just want to give a big shout out to them. In my opinion, they make the best when it comes to motorsport parts. And when it comes to street driving, nothing feels better than a set of Olin's. Let's unbox these babies. Looks like we have some different spring rates, maybe, or maybe we have to build them. Our GT3 did not come with a front lift, which actually makes this whole job a lot easier. When you put aftermarket suspension with the OEM front lift, I always find it always ends up having a problem somewhere. But we're lucky with this car that it wasn't even spec'd with it, so we don't need to worry about that. So I have no problem ditching the OEM suspension and going to a beautiful aftermarket setup, which is arguably going to be better than the factory suspension. So this Olin setup is their TTX package. And the TTX technology was developed by Olin's initially for IndyCar to address cavitation concerns and crosstalk between compression and rebound tuning with traditional monotube shocks. Since then, TTX has been used at the highest levels of motorsport, including MotoGP and Formula One. Cars like the Koenigsegg Agera RS, Pagani Zonda, and McLaren Senna GTR come factory with the same shocks. These shocks use a solid piston which pushes oil through a cylinder head with separate compression and rebound valves for precise performance and tuning. Needless to say, this is the best of the best when it comes to this car, and I'm honored to be running it on the GT3. And speaking of the best, it's time for us to install the best transmission possible for this car, the manual gearbox, baby. No more PDK, none of that junk. We don't want that anymore. I'm not gonna feed it to my family. And now we have the manual transmission on the back of the RS engine, and we are one step closer. We would be putting this back in the car today, but unfortunately, we are still waiting on one piece to come in, and it had to get expedited from Germany. So it actually won't get here until tomorrow, but tomorrow morning we are leaving for Grid Life, Michigan. So if you're in the Michigan area and you wanna come and watch us drive and hang out, we're gonna be there with our semi-truck all weekend in South Haven. So I can't wait for that, but this is all done. Everything went in smoothly, which was a big relief. This is exciting. This is really cool.
Looked at it and said, oh, it's the end link. And came over here and be like, oh, it's the end link. TJ was like, oh, should I carry the entire thing? He's like, he's standing back there with the entire spindle. He's like, should I bring it over there? I'm like, yeah, TJ, bring the entire thing so you could get tools to it. Or you could come over here and grab a tool and bring it back there, but whatever you want. Look at this, nice lollipop. Great instructions, absolutely great. Tells you the distance between here for the fronts. Did that, you're welcome. I could have just threw it in there, whatever, you know, who cares? But I did, I care. I care, listen, look at me. Do I look like I care? No. It's going in. I don't know how it goes in. It kind of doesn't want to go in though. Try to shove her in now. Oh, thank you, Dylan.
Told you.
Like, this happens a lot. TJ gets his hand, he's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then I come in, boop, one fingernail, you know, done. If I fart, it's straight.
Do it.
You ready?
Do it. Do it. There's
gonna be.
Do it. Just do it. Just do it.
There's gonna be mass.
Just do it.
Gonna be mass behind it. I can't do it. Oh, I'm gonna go.
There it goes.
Oh, he's so strong. You know he played hockey yesterday. You know what? That's rude. You always take them to hockey, and you didn't this time. Down in the comments below, please. TJ's a bender for that. Big fatty bender. You know he made 2 goals when no one was at the net.
First time back in a while, scored 2 goals, and the video's just no one by the goal, and he was like, and he goes, it was practice. That was warm-ups. I was warming up.
You guys are idiots. It was warm-ups. I did score 2 goals.
He looked very warm. Maybe I go like this.
Oh, it goes like this, Teach. Do you see that?
And then that clips right here.
Plug it in. Get in there. Get in there.
I'm not your dad.
He's got it the wrong way. Oh, the glove's coming off.
It's like hockey. Oh, he's about to throw it down.
There.
He did it. He looks great doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, he got
off.
He got one.
Oh, I want to show everybody something.
Thank you.
Just building a Porsche. You're over there. TJ, you're so handsome. I wish that I looked as good as you half of my days. You can dub that over what you said.
Dub it over this. TJ, you're super handsome.
Okay, that's in, Calv. Good. This is all done.
Come on, Pep.
Oh,
My thumb. He's gonna be so upset. Oh, you're too deep. Just the boys sticking bolts and holes. Boltsandnuts.com.
Nutsandbolts.com.
No, that's bolts and nuts. Oh, imagine the Kool-Aid Man. Except it was TJ's. Oh yeah, boom! Oh. I'm the king of one-liners, bro. That's so spread. Spread more.
Now we were getting so carried away on putting the front end back together because everything was so seamless and we were finally getting things off the floor until we realized that we had one major problem.
I have to undo so much.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
There has to be a way to adjust that without...
No.
We just ran into a major issue, everyone. We're trying to attach the end link to the hub to attach it, and the end link is coming up short. And it seems the sway bar has been installed upside down.
That means a whole mess. Like an incredibly large mess. All of it has. This has to come out.
No.
Because these have to come out.
Nuh-uh.
And to get that out, we had to take this out. And to get this out, we had to take this off. But to get that off, we had to take this off. And then to get that off, I had to take all the pipes that I put on.
No. We can't just lower the subframe a little bit?
No. If you look over here, subframe, here's a sway bar.
Oh, you had someone to look at.
No, it was mangled, so I couldn't understand what this is. Technically, I did look at this, but if you look at these bars, they're like sent upwards. So I couldn't tell if it was because it was bent up or because it was, So this has to come.
Ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
Here's the end link. See how it's coming underneath this lower control arm? Yeah. That is actually supposed to go up here, which is gonna raise this connection point up so it can go into that hole.
I tried countless times to try to convince Calvin not to drop the whole entire subframe, but he kept meeting me with the information that was just blunt, and that is, we had to drop the subframe.
Just to show you guys how much work has to be undone just to access the sway bar. Now that we dropped the subframe again, we still have to disassemble pretty much everything that sits on top of the sway bar.
That's why when I was putting it together, I was like, I really hope this is right. Because I look at it and try to figure a way, like the thing TJ is coming to terms with, I was like, this is either gonna work or it's not. And it didn't.
So I think it's just this coolant reservoir and tube, and then we should be able to pull it out this way. I think the rat can stay.
Yeah. Oops. All my fellas. It's a great...
Are you serious?
Oh, I'm not gonna answer because we're busy. That's so unfortunate.
It's just gotta go like this.
Yep. Take the. Okay. Okay, and then this goes from the bottom up, so that's a 16.
Okay, sway bar is flipped. Now, put everything back. So that was it. Literally just that. All of that work just to flip the sway bar 180 degrees, and we're back on our way.
This is the perfect little shout out. Lev Rack, we love you for so many reasons. As much as I love your cabinets, I think I love your tables more. Now that we've done all that work, this will now go in to that.
I'm trying to install these fantastic rotors. Unfortunately, I can't do it right now because TJ lost this nut. But good thing we have bolts and nuts. TJ, can you go find?
He's a liar. Who wants to go to the Four Seasons Orlando? Me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Lost it.
It was
okay.
Dylan.
I know exactly what happened. I don't need to go over the story.
I didn't
but
lose it.
Since you asked,
A pin?
the bolt-in. I can't hear a word you guys are saying. He's a little good.
Apparently,
Listen, what happened was he put the bolt in, he put this in, and then I put the nut on the other side. On the other side,
we lost the bolt.
And
I
put the nut on there, and he was holding the other one, and then he took a phone call, and as he walked away, I was like, if this nut is gone, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Apparently, you guys like it when I'm super caffeinated, so let's fire it up. We just got a little care package. NOS Energy Zero comes refrigerated, now in zero sugar. Taste test, rate it, 1 to 10. Surprisingly, excellent. Hear me out. This is zero sugar, so it tastes a little bit different, but it tastes very, very similar to the original flavor. Their older one wasn't my favorite. This one, on the topic of NOS, we have a dirty little rat in this shop. I know who the rat is. I'm not gonna call him out on camera because that would be so disrespectful. I mean, I would never, ever do that. But someone's playing a prank on me and keeps slipping in grape NOS energy drinks in all of my shit. I'll go home, open my backpack, NOS energy drink. I'll go in one of my cars, look at
the grape.
I'm trying to drink. And I know it's you.
It's, whoa!
Alright, but on the topic of today's video, I've been keeping you guys updated, and you guys have been saying you've been liking it. You like to know how much money I'm just burning. That's an extreme topic, and I'm usually pretty open about it. So I thought I would give you guys a current, text on screen, how much I've spent thus far on the GT3. This car, if you were to go and buy it, actually the top comment in the last video was, so you bought a bunch of Volkswagen parts, and then you bought other Volkswagen parts, so you basically have a Volkswagen Beetle. Nice meme. You can buy this car, a 991.2 manual, a spec like this, for around $200,000 new. Now ours is very far from new. Ours actually is, it's our own little creation now. But I have a list right here of everything that we have spent so far on this car. Maybe minus a few $1,000s because we keep buying parts every single day. But Tuan, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna put a little counter on screen and we're gonna count this out together. So we're gonna start from the very, very beginning. This whole entire build started off with the green RS. The green RS came with an engine, transmission, interior bits, seats. I bought this car for $62,000. So that's gonna be our starting point. I then purchased the 991.2 manual GT3 for $55,000. We then sourced a front tub off of eBay for $8,000. We then purchased a front bumper that still has not shown up. We ordered it almost 45 days ago. It's in customs. We should hopefully have it any day now. We spent $9,000, but that came with all the interior bits and all the back panels and stuff. We then had to fix some of our engine because our engine had a bunch of cracked casting and had some parts that need to get replaced. We spent $1,200 on that. Then, upon inspecting the rear end of the car, we found out, oh, the rear does have some damage. It's not just front. And the rear frame bar in the back of the car was twisted. That part you can't order from Porsche because it's structural. So we had to get it off eBay. I bought one new for $4,000. TJ decided to take a turn and swim upstream. Go against the grain, as they say. In other words, I listened to what you guys told me to do, and that oftentimes steers the ship that we're on right now. And I decided we shouldn't convert this to PDK. We should save the manuals and turn this into the original manual car that it was and try to find a manual gearbox to throw it on the back of the RS engine. Well, there were no manual gearboxes for sale in the world secondhand. They don't exist. Granted, there's not a lot of them, so it was a shot in the dark. So we had to buy it brand new from Porsche. Then we also bought some additional pieces that had to go along with that. Shifter cables, bushings, heat exchanger for the transmission. That came in at a total price of $24,479. That one stung. Paid a lot for that one, but for the greater good of the comment section, we did it. We had to buy a rear hinge for the rear hatch, a spark plug, another $200. We had to buy brakes. When it comes to buying brakes for this car, thankfully we're keeping the Steelies and not going carbon ceramics, but you can't buy any of these calipers just as they are off eBay. You have to buy them in a full set. So with the brakes and buying a new rear bumper, because ours was destroyed. Buying this new was a lot of money. Buying them secondhand is tough to find them perfect, so we had to buy a damaged one. We're gonna have to fix it in body and paint. Brakes and bumper combined, $8,000. Because our car was a front end accident, both headlights were destroyed, so we had to buy those new off of eBay, $2,600. Then in the last video, you guys saw us unbox radiator shrouds, radiators, AC condensers, miscellaneous lines, clips, connection points, extra hardware, so we don't have to use any mix mashing hardware. A handful of things. That came in at a total of $7,300. And then once we include all of the paint samples we got, all of the liner we got, all of the welding we had to come in to have that done in-house, that's an extra $1,500. This number's not good. This number's not good. That means our current total is $184,079. That's like the price if you were to scumbag someone for this car brand new. You might be thinking, TJ, you absolute fool, you idiot, you're way over budget. How are you gonna save yourself from this? Because if you're not forgetting, when we bought the green RS, we did that because we knew that we'd be able to sell off a bunch of those original parts from that car and recoup some of our money. Going off of my general thesis here, when I first started this build, I said if we do an absolutely superb job, maybe ambitious, but I think we could do this build for $135,000. Worst case, I think we would end up somewhere in the 150 range. So, going off of the 150 estimate of where I would be happy, we're currently $34,000 over budget. We're gonna start from the top and work our way down. We have a 4,000 mile 2019 PDK transmission for an RS or a GT3. That retail market secondhand could be sold for $17,000. That now puts us at $167,000. If you walk over to our graveyard over here, we have a bunch of RS parts. We have 3 carbon ceramic rotors and calipers that are all still good. One of them heavily damaged. Might be able to sell just the caliper, but just 3 of those alone on an aggressive secondhand market, I can get about $8,000 for that. So we're gonna go ahead, minus $8,000 from our total. That brings us to a total of $159,000. I hope that math was right. Then we have a full set of aftermarket coilovers for an RS, every rear arm for an RS, a spare front gas tank for an RS, rear hub assemblies, a full complete interior, and I know it looks like a mess right now, but we have pristine condition door cards, pull handles, door seals, carpet. Not gonna count the seats under here because we're gonna be using those for our GT3. A beautiful lizard green cage, and what I think could be one of the most valuable things, but I don't know how to find a market value on it, is a complete GT3RS engine harness, chassis harness. We have every module for the door. We have a complete car other than an engine and trans. Now, I've been speaking with a few different recycling auto yards that deal with exotics because selling this all individually would be a pain in the ass, and we would likely never sell everything. We still have reservoirs, we still have engine mounts, we still have shrouding, we have every single coolant line from an RS, some taillights, we still have leftover struts from our front tub, a bunch of stuff. So we're gonna collectively call it the rest of the car. We had an estimation that we could probably sell everything in bulk at a discounted price, not fair market value. We're not gonna be selling it to individual people. We're gonna sell it to someone who puts it on their big site where you could part out cars. On a low end, and this is me like not overhyping this price. I think that we're in the ballpark of around $20,000 for the rest of our green RS that we're parting out. And again, that is on the minimum scale. That number could be 23, 24, could even be up to 30 grand, but just based off of the $20,000 estimation, that puts us at a grand total of $139,079, which at the end of the day is still in the green. We're in the zone, we're right where we want it to be, where we could have a $200,000 car for almost half the price. Now, granted, there's gonna be some people in the comments that are like, well, Tej, you have to factor in when you go and you paint the car, and you have to factor in all the labor that Dylan, you, and Calvin have been doing. And while yes, I do agree with you, but at the same time, my thought process is maybe it's a losing thought process or a winning thought process. I'll let you guys decide that down below in the comments. But no matter what we're working on, we're always working on something. The labor hours that go into every build are all the same, whether we're working on a 911, whether we're working on the veil side, the drift car, we're always factoring in those hours, and those are just standard costs that I choose to operate our business, and I just hold that at a monthly value regardless. So the cost of operation to include this, I almost factor in the labor spent on this as just the cost of operation of pretty much what we do inside these walls. So I'm not going to include that, but if you want to play devil's advocate, the paint job on painting the front hood, front fenders, rear bumper, because remember the front bumper I didn't show you guys, this is actually guards red, will probably be around 5 to 7 grand, which will put us around the $145,000 mark. And I know you're probably like, Tej, what are you gonna do for wheels? Because you're not gonna be factoring those wheels. You just wait for that. You guys know me, I like to hoard parts, I like to stack parts. I've had something waiting for this thing for quite a long time. So, $139 where we currently sit, might bump up to $145,000. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a good deal. And I am very happy with those numbers. Now that both our front suspension assemblies are both on and hard mounted, we can move on to the exciting part and put on our rotors and pads and calipers and all of our stuff. So when I bought the set of brakes, it actually came with stock rotors, but the previous owner of this car actually had gyro discs. These are actually an upgrade from factory, and although they look rusty and old and crusty, that's all this surface rust that happens if brakes just sit for a while, which this one was. So we're gonna clean these once they're up and on the car so we can spin around and clean a little bit easier because it is quite heavy. But we're gonna be using these brakes, which are an upgrade. So Calvin actually got ahead of the horse here. Calvin was just so excited. He's like, I'm just gonna install it.
Apparently this is right. I think that's wrong.
Yeah, it is. No, that's is how it goes. It goes that way.
Okay.
It looks crusty, but it will fix it. So when I unboxed these, I was wondering to myself, I wonder what's the rear and what's the front. This is the first one I unboxed. And then I unboxed the second one. And it was very clear to me which one was front, which one was rear. These are beautiful. And for those that are wondering why we're not upgrading to the PCC brake system on the GT3, I actually have been waiting to do a Steely build, because with the Steelies, you're actually able to fit a much smaller wheel around the whole brake assembly, which with the carbon ceramics, like on my .1, you have to run like a much larger wheel. So what we have coming, I'm doing specifically because I have the Steely brakes, and I'm excited to keep them.
Oh, like a dream.
This came off of a GT4. Throughout this whole entire build process, we've been learning a lot of how much Porsche shares their parts with other cars. Like the whole front tub is the same tub on a Cayman. Fun fact.
Wow.
Cayman and a 911 share the same front tub assembly. World's dirtiest rotor install. Close. Do you want to see what a $9,000 box looks like? Sabrina, do you want to see what a $9,000 box? Alicia, do you want to see what a $9,000 box looks like?
Of course I do. I know what is in there.
Do you really know?
Yeah, it's the exhaust.
Yes.
Exhaust are that big?
Yeah, it's a big exhaust. Do you want to see it? Ow!
That was a genuine concern.
Look at this exhaust.
It looks like a front bumper.
We have a slight issue. When I bought this, the picture they used was a guards red bumper. Cal, does this look like guards red to you?
That looks like a Cayman bumper, bro.
This is the right bumper.
Are you
but
sure?
The picture, yeah. Cal, they f***ing scammed us.
They scammed you?
I paid $9 grand for a red bumper. Look, I found the order.
Oh, look. Whoa, that's red. That's 100% red.
So this hood right here is from a company called Apollo. This is obviously a GT3RS replica hood. If you were to buy this hood brand new from Porsche, this hood is about $25,000. What I like the most is how much that this actually looks like factory. Like the finishing on them. Yeah. Is really, really clean all the way through. Like it's actually very impressive. Wow. I feel like I'm usually not impressed. I'm actually very impressed. Yeah, something I really appreciate is how close the satin black finish is to the rest of the ABS plastic. I really think that you would think this is an OEM hood. Now the hood that came off of our original GT3RS has a bunch of damage on the underside and we're not able to run it. You'll be able to notice it has the nanoducts on the hood, which is a dead giveaway of 991.2 RS. The 991.1 and .2 GT3s do not come with the nanoducts because there's actually a scooping that goes throughout here that re-leads to the brakes or the fender or some way. I don't actually know where it goes, but there is actual scooping that goes down somewhere. Now we're gonna be running this on the car just because this is the one thing that I told you guys I would be willing to run is an RS hood. RS parts everywhere else on this car I'm not a big fan of, but the quality of this hood actually surpasses what I would thought it would be. And I actually want to say that that is pretty impressive. If you were to look at this and question if it was a replica hood versus a real hood, I honestly don't think you'd be able to tell. I have the same carbon hood on my .1 RS minus the nanoducks. So I'm actually very familiar with the weight. I'm very familiar with how it feels. I'm very familiar with how it looks underneath because they're all this dry carbon. And this thing is dead on. It is dead on. This is a great, great option for those who need to replace an RS hood or want to add an RS hood and have 100% accuracy but not pay the $25,000 pricing. Super, super good job, guys. Apollo, major shout out to you guys. This looks incredible. That gets me really excited. Now we have every front end piece for the car. We have the hood, we have the bumper, and we have the fenders.
So we've gotten a lot of comments. How do you make a replica GT3RS hood look exactly like an OEM GT3RS hood? It's all about the fine details, baby.
Boom.
Go ahead. Tell me that's not factory.
The rest of our pieces of our front end have showed up. This was one of the last missing pieces, and that is our radiator. So we have two brand new radiators from Porsche. So let's stop dicking around and let's install these radiators and finally put together this whole entire front clip. We're gonna double check our work. We put this thing all together. We made it ourselves. It's hopefully straight, but we're gonna find out because we're gonna put the hood, the bumper, the fenders, everything on. The front end of the car is gonna look normal. There's no engine, but this is gonna be a big day. This is gonna make us feel really good. I've taken these things in and out so many times. I hope this is the one of the last times that I have to do
We'll get the
this.
satisfying.
Oh, yeah. That is so epic. I love that. That will at least hold it. The radiator in, we have to figure out how the AC condenser then fits on top. It comes with this little plastic guy, which honestly, I think I know how to do.
It goes right there. Oh, look at that. And then push this way with it. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god.
So I'm here, again, working on the interior. I am literally an expert. I've taken apart this entire thing. I know how it all goes. When I took this apart, there were some broken clips. Good thing we had another car, donor car. I recognized that it was missing not the linkage, I don't know what it's called, but basically the cable that pulls the levers on the transmission weren't in the car. So I spent the time to take apart the whole thing and install that. You could see it in here.
Nice.
So these weren't there. Unfortunately, the entire interior has to come out to put those in. I put them in. I figured I could put everything back besides this window. That needs to be adjusted. That absolutely needs to be adjusted. So from where I sit, once the motor's in, it should just work.
These rotors, they were really rusty. Most likely would have worn off with some brake usage, but I have good luck with vinegar in the past, and I found some CRC Evaporust. I kind of just threw it in a tub, let this soak for about an hour. I did it to 3 of them so far. It's kind of nice to watch it come right off. So I'm just gonna give this, oh, it's literally getting
It's everywhere. And I will say, you guys are so lucky that you're behind a screen and can't smell this because it is not pleasant.
Dude, what does it smell like? It's super sulfury.
It's so bad.
And like, you know what vinegar smells like. So
Yeah.
imagine that and like a tub full of it. Nope.
I just got a whiff of it when you did that. Oh, why is it so
Why is it so boop, boop, boop? Turn the camera on.
This is me.
I mean, you probably should be wearing a mask. I probably should.
And I'm not trying to like upplay it.
No,
It
it's bad.
smells
It's
so bad.
Dude, it's so bad. Over here, we have pretty much our starting point.
Yeah, it's a good comparison.
And then,
Yeah.
And again, it's a rotor. It's not perfect. The anodizing's still there. The hardware's all clean. The backside hardware's all clean. That's all I really cared about. No rust inside of the ducting channels. So I feel good about it. And it doesn't need to be that tight because it just holds it on while the wheel is off of it.
Shout out Viper, multi-use.
Dude, I was like, we don't have a clip. I don't have a wire hanger. I don't want to scratch. I was like, how about this cushy, plush little butt pad?
Dude, that caliper's so comfortable right now.
It's having the best life right now.
You like the new shirt?
Number one.
Something straight out of TJ's brains.
Fucking side hip print? What?
Cook it.
Side print?
Barbecue.
When have you seen that? Microwave.
Is that a Supra? No. It's a barbecue.
It's an oven of fire ideas. We're baking.
I thought we were
Cookies.
I thought we were how to cook.
Cookies.
No.
Baking cookies.
Barbecue.
Barbecuing ribs.
And
Baby back
cookies.
ribs. Homemade sauce. No risk, no reward on that sauce.
No risk, no sauce.
You want sauce? Gotta have risk. Secret ingredients of my sauce? Risk.
I don't want your sauce.
All right, now with all this buttoned up, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put all this stuff on. This is gonna be our first time testing all the body panels. If we screwed up, or if this is a little bit not straight, we're gonna find out right now in this episode. Dylan, are you ready? We're going, I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek. I'll tell you guys what's going on. We're going on a really, really fun trip next week. A super fun trip.
Now, look at this face, look at this face. Now I'm excited.
Now on.
We're going on a really, those were so sweaty.
Covered in vinegar.
And I felt it. And I felt it.
Look at it.
We're going on a really fun drift trip that I've never done before. I'm so excited. That's why that car's outside. That's why there's so much stuff just out right now. We're like, everyone's operating on so many cylinders. I'm really excited for this trip. Dylan's about to drive cross country. Dylan's about to see every state. He's about to see every state. Not all of them, but he's about to do a really big drive.
The only one that I need to see, that I'm gonna see finally, Illinois. What's up? I'm coming from you, Illinois. I'm coming in you, Illinois.
All right, so we have a brand new front right fender right here. Our other one was kind of destroyed a little bit, so we had to get a new one.
The satin hits.
Kind of looks good, right? It looks
hits.
like it's got like painted satin black or something. It's going to mount right here, here, and here. And the rest of this should just slide right on.
Oh, it's looking good, brother.
Yeah, it's looking really good. So excited to put the front bumper on after this.
Getting your greasy little bits everywhere.
Oh, sneak peek. No one's part bear.
What the f?
Well, first of all, I gotta wake up a little bit.
Straight from his mom's teeth.
He just gurgled it in his mouth.
Cusco is the poison for Cusco. So this fender's damaged a little bit right here. We'll fix that in body. No dramas. No dramas there, folks.
Drama's mamas.
Pretty easy.
Dramas mamas? Calvin? Mamas?
Mamas?
Mamas? Mamas where?
I have a clip of Calvin dancing with a hot mom.
Please don't. Because I ran away.
It's just Calvin.
I was like this.
Just throwing it back.
I did a full Japanese X.
You did do that.
Get me out.
Calvin's mama. I mean, not Calvin's mama.
mama.
Oh, come on.
Not your mama.
Do it. Do it.
Hey, hold your horses.
All right, that's what I thought. Okay, you can install it. No. Hey, buddy, you can install it. Okay. Oh my God, it spooked me.
This is a really exciting part. I'm really, really hyped for this part. Now, I want to preface again, we don't have the shrouding in. There are some things that are left off the car because we know that we're still going to be adding our AC lines, which come here in about a day or so. But this is merely a test to know that everything fits with no dramas and to know that we built the car straight.
It's gonna come on and off 3 more times, even before paint.
Yeah.
I just want to look at it and be able to go. Just please all line up. You guys too.
Moment of truth.
Yeah, and then up one top here.
Oh, and then you see these little oh my God, mine went in so good.
All these holes look good.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this one's captured and I'm not worried about it just going somewhere else.
Look at just how tight everything literally goes back in here. No room for error. You cannot even tell that this had a full front clip replacement. Oh my God. Do it, Dylan. Do the honors.
Do it.
We haven't adjusted anything.
We haven't, there's no latch, so it might sit a little high.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Need to adjust the, we could adjust the hood a little bit more. More and more I get towards finishing this, I'm like, I almost feel like I'd rather have the .2 manual GT3 over the .1 RS.
I personally, even without it being done, I agree. This is so far my favorite, but we'll see. Great job, everyone.
That whole thing was off the car.
It looked like the pan of the green car right now. It
Look like that.
Dude, just the .2 styling is just amazing.
Yo, this thing's sick.
That front clip is the best thing I've ever seen. It is such a good, it's my favorite part about that Porsche. This front section, from like here forward, just these like lines that you get from everything.
Oh, man.
I'm really impressed on how well it fits. And it hasn't even been like aligned yet. Like if you saw this in a parking lot, as is, you wouldn't look at it and be like, oh, that's, the fitment's weird there. Like, I remember when Calvin and I did the Ferrari, the R8, the Mustang. First time we do it, it's like, you know, it's pretty off, but like you see it. But this looks so incredible. Like, look at these lines. Wow. Everything. And then from this point, still seeing inside of the front, like, caster area, like the front suspension pocket with the red, and it also has the lining that's OEM. Like, you would never know.
I wanted to do the closest we could to factory without, you know, a frame rack, all the Porsche specific tools. And I feel like for what we have in the shop and our skill set and our tools, which is lack thereof compared to this shit, is like, I'm stoked on it.
Plus 1,000 aura.
Dude, it does have pretty good aura, huh?
Yeah, it does.
So I originally bought this car for my friend Tommy. I'm gonna call him and we'll get his reaction when he sees it.
What?
Look at that.
Where'd you get the hood?
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
I'll call the cops right now.
Damn, look at that fitment. Look at that fitment.
It's a knockoff hood.
No, it's a real hood. I dropped 25 grand on it.
It's a knockoff. Don't you try that with me. I can tell you exactly why, too.
Why? Tell me why.
It's too rounded on the edges.
You're high.
I am a little high, but let's see that part number, bitch. Not real.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, how are you gonna compare that?
All right, well, we just got a massive package from Porsche, and in the last video, I told you guys that I said we are gonna go with the manual swap for the RS. We've already taken off the whole front tub. Before we get to what's coming on next, I gotta open this big box. If you guys watched the last episode, you should know what this is, so let's crack it open and see what it looks like. Yo, that's f***ing sick. I'm just desperate to see this thing. Ooh. Oh, that is so sick. So right here is our manual gearbox for the 911. And we also ordered everything else that comes with it. So I believe we have, well, let's open it up, let's see. Ugh. Whoa, that's pretty. Dude, that's beefy. That is heavy. Look at this, Cal. Oh, it's multiple pieces. Wow, look at that. Yeah. And this bag, I don't quite want to open up yet because it has all of the pieces inside of it. It has the slave and hardware and bushings and whatnot. I'm not gonna open that yet, but there's still more. We also ordered every other piece that was missing for this car or was damaged. So we have a brand new intake plenum, which unfortunately had to buy the whole entire assembly, couldn't piece it out. We have other things like sensors that were broken, hardware that was missing, covers for the engine. We have a brand new water pump because again, you can't replace little things. You have to buy everything in bulk, and engine plate covers and brackets that hold the engine to the actual car. If you haven't seen the last few episodes, originally we were gonna put the PDK from the green RS on this RS engine and put it back in the car, but we decided that we were gonna stick with manual, so we had to order a brand new gearbox from Porsche. There was only 3 available worldwide, and there's none for sale on the used market because it's not the most common transmission in the 911 GT3. There are way more PDK transmissions than manuals, so luckily, we were able to get this one for a pretty penny for this 911, but it was all worth it. On my second channel, we talked a lot about how much it's gonna cost to rebuild this thing, and I got a lot of feedback in the comment section that really enjoyed how open I was being with how much everything is costing. So, before we start diving into work today, let's go over how much everything has costed us this far. So here is my cost breakdown. We bought the green RS for $62,000. We bought the GT3 for $55,000. The front tub replacement was $8,000. The front bumper assembly was $9,000. The engine parts that I spent so far, $1,200. The rear frame bar that we found in the last video, the damage, $4,000. And the transmission plus all the engine parts and accessory came at $24,479. So this far, we have spent a total of $163,000. So far, we've spent $163,679. Now I hear you, that is a lot, but keep in mind, we're gonna be selling off a lot of parts off of our green RS, and we have a PDK transmission. My goal is to be at around $135,000 in total for this build. Right now, we're about $25,000 off of that mark, but keep in mind, I'm gonna do a video on this later. When I sell the PDK transmission, that comes in at around $17,000. When I sell the 3 carbon ceramic brakes that we're not using off the green RS, I should get about $10,000 for that. When I sell the full interior plus all the bits, I might get around $5,000 for that. When I sell the chassis off the green RS, that's about another $5,000. And I still have wheels and other suspension bits, and I do believe I can get close to around $35,000, if not more on a good day for all the parts that we're gonna sell. And honestly, that's half the fun with this whole entire build, is to see how cheap we can do it, and at the end of the day, if we can stay under that 150 and try to get to the 135 mark, we should be able to be in this car in the green, and at one point, if we ever sell it, be able to make a little bit of profit on it. So this is a really time-consuming part of the whole entire build, probably the biggest hurdle that Dylan and I were talking about. Putting the motor in and doing all that stuff and replacing damaged pieces is one thing, but taking 2 tubs, dismantling them, and making sure it goes back on straight is the most daunting task. So right now what we're trying to do is we're trying to separate this tub from pretty much everything here. So we're gonna be chipping away at all the rubber and grinding it away so that then we can go through and drill out all of these rivets and then hopefully separate them. So with a lot of this glue chipped off and wheeled off, you can see the layers that we're going for. And if you guys watch this and you understand what we're doing, you guys can do this to all of your cars at home that you're trying to replace or repair. We're trying to take apart. It seems really complicated, but at the base of it, it's pretty simple. But it's just really making sure we separate this thing layer by layer without damaging the layers that we need to keep versus the ones that we're gonna throw away. We have all the rivets drilled out. Now, in theory, we should be able to now pop these panels apart and disassemble it. Let's see if we did the right thing.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
So all this stuff, before you caught it on fire, was so hard that with the wood chisel, I couldn't scrape it away.
Damn.
Like, it's so gnarly.
Oh, yeah. And this is where we have to be really careful. We thought we had all of them, but we missed one of them. And if we would have kept going and kept trying to pry that, we eventually just would have torn the metal. So we have to keep a very delicate eye to make sure we don't miss anything, so this thing can be removed without any damages. It's like we've done that before.
Yay. Sick.
That is cool, man. All right, now we do it to the other side. Ta-da! What the heck? How it's gonna go back on. Oh! We'll just have to like chop it to like here and then just.
That's delicious.
Yeah,
That's
came out pretty
I
good.
wanna eat it.
Now, if none of this has made sense, this will make all the sense.
Oh my God, imagine if the car was this long.
Extendo front end, extendo clip.
Oh, a limo. Limo Porsche.
We're gonna be cutting it from around this section, and then this overlap will then overlap with these. So these 4 rivets that were drilled out will overlap with these. We'll seam seal everything, rivet everything back up. You got a Porsche again, it's never been crashed.
So this part's,
It's been super crashed.
I don't know if it's better to remove this from this frame rail and section sleeve this into here and made it, or to cut this one back to here. But if you look in there, take a look
It's
in there.
reinforced on the
There's
inside.
like a lattice structure.
Yeah.
That's reinforcement, so.
Now it's time for the most difficult part of this whole entire process, and that's attaching the tub to the car. But this is a expertise job. So for that, I called in a special guy. This right here is Oscar. We've been working with Oscar for years now. He's from SOS Customs, and they are a collision shop, paint shop, West Coast Customs, but better.
Better.
Right? You like that?
I like it.
I hyped you up a
that
little
was
bit.
good.
So now Oscar's gonna walk us through on what we need to do to fix this.
All right, so the goal here, obviously combine this said tub with this crash car. In order to do that, we're gonna have to do a little bit of cutting and splicing, and using this, we're gonna have to remove the inner structure, but still keep it so we can actually splice into here. And to do that, we have our man Russo here. He's gonna walk us through exactly what we're gonna do.
We're gonna be going towards the donor tub and removing the inner structure. By that, our first step is gonna be removing the rivets from factory, some CM sealer, which involves heat and some more nasty stuff. Then we're gonna come to the car that we're correcting and scalp these pieces off of the frame rail and just kind of make it work.
This Porsche and this old Porsche, and we're trying to do this. That, whatever, you know, we don't care. We don't really care here. We're very open, you know what I mean? Want to do this, want to do this, want to do this, want to do this. Whatever you want to do, they just have to combine. That's what we're here. You know what I mean?
No, I'm down. I'm reinvigorated on doing this project.
Aroused?
Yeah.
I'm aroused too.
We're gonna put this side of that and that on this and touch both of them together.
And that's what we're gonna. And they're gonna touch tails and
Hell yeah.
that's what
With consent, though.
Yeah, of course.
yeah, with consent.
Hey, are you down? All right, yeah, okay. You want this too? All right, that's a yes from both. Let's do it.
We just encountered a pretty big problem. That was an oversight, and this is part of what happens when we're doing stuff like this. Definitely not good news.
This is a Valio Pito moment.
Oh, dude.
But hey, Teach, why are you stressing, bro? Why are you stressing? Do you have the parts to make it happen?
Dude, I don't know.
You do.
We don't know.
Everything is here. Everything is here. You got it.
Oscar, Dylan, whomever, noticed something when we were lining up the front tub. So, as I told you guys when we first started this is all like structural components. You can't necessarily order this from Porsche unless you're a collision center. So we got one secondhand used, and from the research that I did and from whom I was talking to, and I talked to multiple sources, although there's not that many people out there who have done this. So there's no like, no one's in the wrong here. I guess except me, because I hit click and buy. This is a 911 Carrera front tub. We had thought that the 911 Carrera front tub is the same front tub through all the 911s, from turbo, actually anything that's rear-wheel drive 911, this tub will work on any rear-wheel drive application. Turbo S, all-wheel drive, so it's different. Well, it turns out that the RS and GT3 actually have a slightly different front tub. So this front tub doesn't necessarily work with this GT3. The GT3 and GT3RS come with an option from factory, or come with an option that I don't know is standard on 911s, and that is the extended gas tank. It's the touring gas tank, and it's essentially a larger gas tank. Because these cars eat through fuel, the gas tank's really big. It's like 20 plus gallons. So because of that, the fuel cell sits right in front of the firewall in between the tub and the car. And the gas tank protrudes out a little bit more than a normal 911 does because it has that option. So when looking at this front tub of the 911 Carrera tub, you can see the backside of the tub is just flat. Notice there's no bracing here. Notice there's no bracing here. And then when you go over to the green RS tub and you look in the same spots, you'll notice there's bracing here, there's bracing here, and there's actually a big bulge right here. This big bulge is to fit this front section of the gas tank to fill up that area. So if we put on this front tub, this gas tank won't even fit, which means this tub was a $9,000 purchase gone sour. And there's no GT3 or RS tubs available on the secondhand market. And we do not have a collision Porsche certification, so we can't order this, so we're screwed. Unless what we do, try to remove this whole entire front brace because it is primarily intact, drill out the 30 plus rivets.
No, we're good on these. We're good on these. It's everything around it. Treat it like a one big sheet. Yeah,
so we're gonna drill all the outsides.
So we're gonna peel the top back, and then we're gonna peel this off.
We're gonna peel its muffin top back, bro.
So we're gonna Frankenstein and turn our 911 Carrera tub into a GT3 tub. What's taken us 5 days to try to do and peel back all the panels to get our 911 tub ready, we're gonna try to do it in 1 day. And while Dylan works on getting the 911 tub ready to go on the frame, Oscar and I are gonna team up on the green car. And while Kevin's doing banner installs, we're all gonna work at the same time to try to strip this whole entire section and then try to...
Yeah, you're the guy that does the banner.
No.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey, my truck's outside. Can you put the new Hunting Co? They just, Hunting Co just dropped some new banners. Can you go throw that in my truck, please?
You gotta send me an email. I'll schedule you something.
They do have new ones. How many? 2?
Yeah.
2 new
What
banners.
do they look like, Teach?
Oh, they look like this. And Dylan actually designed them.
Dylan's a man of many talents.
He is.
He is.
You should see him once the sun goes down.
Support my man Dylan's talents and buy a Hunting Co banner today.
So Frankenstein RS tub commence.
We're gonna be using the part from the other tub, right? Or
Yeah.
we're
we're gonna use the other tub.
So the only area that we're gonna have to be very careful with is this corner right here because it's fucking damaged.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to kind of hammer and dolly this thing back. But TJ, what you're gonna be doing is taking all this seam sealer off because this is the area where it attaches to the rear section. We're gonna be using the section off the other frame rail here, and the whole side of the tub here. But this is the whole section that we need to save.
We need this one as well, so we have to do the top piece.
Okay.
So on the other one, we have to undo all of that and peel the top of as well. Big thumbs up for us.
Dylan's like the guy from Game of Thrones, like the mountain, but he's not as big as the mountain. He's kind of more like the hill, or like the
Hound. That guy's pretty cool.
Which one does the
He's
Hound
the
again?
brother of that dude that looks super ugly, but he beats the shit out of people.
Oh, okay. But I couldn't say that because Dylan's a handsome man.
Stop that. I gotta
Dylan's
go.
fucking handsome, dude. Like, hand me some of that ass.
One of the things that we really want to do with this car is make sure that it's built correctly. A car of this stature should have no areas skimped out on or shortcutted. Obviously, we're gonna have to repaint most of the car on the outside to get it to be guards red, but it would also be extremely beneficial to us and our timeline and for you guys if we could try to get our whole entire front tub painted sooner than later. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just made a shocking discovery, and I can't believe we didn't find this in the last video, but let me catch you up really quickly. Right here is our 991.2 GT3. This is a Frankenstein build that we've rebuilt. It has an engine from a GT3RS inside of it, but this car is just a GT3. In the last episode, we spent time fixing the harness and trying to start the car, but ultimately, the car never started. But I think I know why. If you come to the back of the car, you'll see the new engine that we have inside this car, but you'll also see the ECU. Dylan this morning made a shocking discovery. Let me zoom in so you can see it. Do you see this big gaping hole right here? That's the ECU. Here's a part of the harness that isn't plugged in. Now you're probably asking yourself, you guys spent 12 hours diagnosing the harness, plugging everything back together, and you never noticed that that was plugged in, I would be telling you, yes, you are correct. But what I can say is we're only human. I think that we've got so caught up in everything, we just assumed that one of us plugged that in. That whole entire video of trying to get that car to start was a waste. Because of course the car wouldn't start. Because one of the main harness plugs of the ECU is not plugged in. So let's run it back. For real this time. That was good. In the event that it starts, I'll go 5 seconds.
We have to turn it right back on.
Right back off?
It's not gonna start. There's no way it's gonna start.
What if it does?
Okay, we turn it right back on.
You don't think it's gonna start?
No, it doesn't know if it's in park. No, I don't even think it'll crank. I changed my mind. Go, go.
It cranks? Jake. Good job, TJ.
Jake, you did so much work this morning. Good
Come
job.
on,
It started. Frankenstein RS started. Word to the wise, make sure all your plugs are plugged in before you try to start a car. Stupid idiots. What makes today's video better than the last video is I brought in backup. I brought in help. I brought in someone who will hopefully allow us not to make the simple mistakes that we made in the last video. This is Jake.
What's up, guys? I'm Jake Bossard, owner of Eurobond here in San Diego. I do Porsche, BMW, Mercedes, everything European, and I'm gonna help these guys get this thing dialed in.
So we have a big list of things to do here. We need to fix the wiring because we still have missing wires. We don't know where they go. And we also need to have a specific computer to code everything on this car. When I mean code, I mean we have to code the ECU because the ECU thinks it's a GT3RS with a PDK transmission, and we're obviously not that, so that's gotta be fixed. We need to do a special computer system to bleed the coolant, do the oil, do all of the brakes and clutch, which also Jake is gonna help us do. But the first thing we need to do is figure out the wiring. So stay tuned for the end of this video because if all goes well, this car should be on the ground for the first time with wheels on and potentially driving. It's finally ready for us to put coolant in this car, and we're doing something pretty cool that I wanted to share with you because I've never done this before. And if I've never done it before, there might be a small chance that some of you guys have never done it before. So let me show you.
So we're currently creating vacuum right now, which is something that we've done before. And what we're doing is we're running a pressurized air line over the nozzle, which is sucking out all of the air out of the whole entire system. And if you go around the car and you look at all the coolant lines, they're all collapsing because it's sucking all of the air out of it.
So this is one way that we can make sure that there's no air pockets throughout the whole entire system, and you can also at the same time check to see if you have any potential leaks, because if you had any leaks throughout the car, that vacuum, when we shut it off, would actually show the decrease in pressure throughout the whole entire process. But that's not the interesting part.
So now that we've reached max vacuum, we're gonna leave it for about 10 minutes and make sure that this needle does not move up at all, because with this valve closed, the entire system's sealed. So if there's no leaks, it should hold at that number the entire time.
So now while we're waiting to see if we lose any air, I'm gonna go ahead and, this is where it gets interesting by the way, I'm gonna start putting all this coolant in this bucket.
Oh my God.
I'll watch this.
And now that it's filled up, we're going to transfer this back over.
Forbidden punch.
All right, so now that we've verified that the system has no leaks by maintaining pressure, the entire system's under vacuum. So when we put this in here, into our pre-mixed coolant, we open this valve, it's gonna pull the coolant up through this hose and fill the cooling system, and it will be bled when we're done.
That's the, why have we never done that before? It's kind of genius.
It is. You ready?
Yeah.
That cool.
Is it gonna be, oh, it's a fast suck.
Yeah.
Reminds me of,
no! It's a cool milestone. At the point where you need to add a coolant to the car because you're that close to the finish line. Feels good.
Yeah, fluids are always like the best feeling. When you're like, I think everything's sealed up. I think we're gonna put fluid in.
And of course, we are using Valvoline's Xerox coolant. So as always, want to say shout out to Valvoline. We love you and thank you for providing the proper materials or the proper products we need for our Porsche. They have a product for everything. Old JDM cars, new cars, Porsches, exotics, you name it. And to extend that note too, we usually, when we add coolant to the car for the first time we run it, we're always like, all right, let's look around the car, look underneath it, try to see if anything's leaking, try to catch a leak before it happens. But because we just test it under vacuum and we know there's no leaks, we know that it's not gonna drop, which is crazy to me.
We're bleeding the hydraulic system, so the clutch and the brakes. And we're using this pressure bleeder, which is regulated at about 15 PSI. And we have a constant introduction of fluid and pressure from the compressor and the reservoir that's being fed into the chassis reservoir that's going to the clutch and every brake caliper. And so what I'm gonna do is go around and bleed each caliper. And what Jake is gonna do is going to tell the ABS system, I'm assuming, electronically to open and close its valves to allow the fluid to go through the system as it should. If we didn't have Jake to do that, then I would just arbitrarily be bleeding all these calipers. I'd be chasing air pockets that would exist inside the ABS system. And that's the team effort that we're gonna have right now.
Which means you can't do this by just pumping the brakes and cracking each caliper line. The mechanism in which we're trying to bleed is controlled by certain valves that go to every caliper. So to bleed the brakes, you need to have the computer system in order to command it to open and close while pressurizing the system. Porsche's new brake systems are very strange to me.
We're gonna start with rear left, then front right, then rear right, which is kind of a weird order, but that's how Porsche does it, so it's nice to have the right stuff.
Basically, there's a mechanical and electrical disconnect between Jake's foot, the pump, and this caliper. So he's been mechanically pumping, but that doesn't mean that it's passing fluid through the channels until the ABS pump allows it to happen. So right now, on the other two, it didn't do this. It had enough fluid in the lines, but this one is calling for 90 seconds of this, which might overflow our reservoir, which it is what it is. But so I'm just holding it open and letting the pump do its job.
Now, while the boys are doing the wiring and doing all the bleeding, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next part. And this part I have been waiting for so long. I've had these parts sitting on the ground since the day I got this car, and it's the exhaust. Now, the reason why we need to put the exhaust on the car is because to actually check our oil level with this car, it needs to be running. This is because the car uses a dry sump and it's not your just traditional oil pan where you could just sew a dipstick in and check. The car has to run for a decent amount of time for it to get an accurate measurement. So to do that, we need the exhaust to be on so it doesn't throw codes and allows us to check everything. So this is an exhaust, as many of you guys can probably guess, from Dundon Motorsports. I run a Dundon exhaust on my RS over there, and on my first RS, I also ran a Dundon exhaust. One of the reasons why I love Dundon so much is not only because of their heritage in the Porsche community and what they've done for the Porsche community on just making beautiful parts, but not only does Dundon sound the best, that's not the main reason why I love them. A lot of exhaust companies can make something that sounds really good for this car. Dundon actually proves that their products increase the horsepower, increase mid-range, and just increase performance overall. But not every exhaust company can prove that. Oof, I thought this was the header box. I was wrong, but let's continue. This right here is their titanium muffler. Now I decided to not go absolutely batshit crazy with volume. They do make a very, very loud option known as their crack pipe. I've had it before, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a crack pipe. It's way too loud. So what I've done here is I did their titanium, zoom in on that, loud. Gentleman's tone, as I like to say. This is a beautiful setup, and I cannot wait to see this behind the car. And for the exhaust tip option,
great choice.
Just standard black.
Standard.
Just a good, clean look. Actually, this is a different setup than I have on my RS. The RS is a different setup. I actually run a different muffler setup on the RS. So I'm really excited. You could literally fit this one on top of that. I'm very excited to see the differences that we get from this exhaust setup because it's gonna be different than my RS. I can't wait for that. I also want to give a little shout out to Jamie from Dundon Motorsport because Jamie has actually done a lot of help with us behind the scenes because everyone at Dundon are just Porsche nerds and they deal with these cars all the time to a level that exceeds a lot of people out there. And when I originally crossed him with the idea of putting a GT3RS engine into a GT3 and then trying to tune the ECUs to match up with each other and all those questions, I went to him and he was able to verify if it was possible. And he was like, you know what? Should be possible. I've never done it, but it should be possible. So a lot of that initial idea when I had it, I crossed by Jamie and Jamie was like, yep, it will work. So if you're enjoying this series, shout out to Jamie because this wouldn't have probably happened if I didn't have him backing me with a stupid idea.
Oh, that looks so good.
Oh yeah. And if we're being honest here, I almost didn't go for this exhaust setup. This exhaust setup is not cheap at all. It's like 15, it can vary, but I think this whole exhaust setup you're looking at here is about $15,000. There are a lot of other options out there that you can get that are a lot cheaper than this. At the end of the day, I really want the performance as well. I don't just want volume. I don't just want sound. So I decided we're not cheaping out now. We've put so much on this car. We've done it right. And I feel if I didn't do this exhaust, I wouldn't be seeing this car through. I wouldn't be doing it right. Still retains the
factory valves.
Factory valves with vacuum.
How would this have gotten to me? I think it was your spit.
You might be asking yourself, wow, is this the first time they've ever installed headers on a 911 GT car? No, this is the third time we've done it now.
Spread them.
Aha!
All right, I'll hold it. You can put on some nuts.
I'll just hang it.
Nut her up. I mean, impregnate her. I mean, get pregnant. I mean, put nut on her. No!
It's break time.
It's a break time.
It's exhaust time.
Hold on, Calvin, I need really good energy. Okay, I'm gonna pan up. Yeah. Okay, and I want you to say, it's exhaust time. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready?
It's exhaust time.
All right, here, I'm gonna try with you. Okay, ready? I need energy. Okay, it's exhaust time. Got it? 3, 2, 1.
It's exhaust time.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
It's exhaust time.
Yeah. Oh! I stink.
You actually smell pretty good.
What's your deodorant of choice?
Whichever.
I don't wear deodorant.
No, I have to.
Tell them why you don't wear underwear.
It's a waste of time.
I don't wear deodorant. It's a waste of time.
Putting on my underwear, okay.
This is the most flawed reasoning ever.
Okay, listen.
Sure.
I don't need life insurance for my farts because I don't trust them ever. These guys trust their farts and on occasion make a little bit of a, you know what I'm saying?
So if you're like 8th chubbed, you're just fine with everybody seeing it?
TJ always looks at my.
Why he's called the macaroni?
Rigatoni.
No, he's like the elbow.
I'm an elbow. I'm a shell. Not like the big shell, the small shell. I'm a fusilli.
A fusilli? No, you strike me as a farfalle type of guy.
Oh, farfalle.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a spaghettini, dude.
You're more like angel hair.
Angel.
More like a rice grain, you know, like the Japanese. More like a Japanese short grain, you know.
But like brown rice, not white rice, brown rice.
Like fully husked up. You
like
know
short grain white rice.
Yeah, Japanese short grain, super sticky,
Yeah.
super delicious, super small. Put rice vinegar on my grains, Teach.
Big moment, ladies and gentlemen. Tip time. It's tip time.
Excuse you?
Look at these, Cal. You see these tips?
I'm not looking
These
at
tips
your
will blow you out the
tips.
water. These are some great tips. Bigger than my last tips.
Stay away
the
from
biggest tips we've ever handled. This is the biggest tip I've ever handled.
No, that's...
Feels good. Dylan's face just cries excitement. Whoa.
Oh my.
It's fine.
Oh, nice tip.
Obviously, we'll redo all the centering once the bumper's on the car. But today we're highlighting the exhaust. We're leaving it off for now. It's time for us to do something for the first time on this car. Feels great, lots of first times. We love first times. We're gonna put wheels on the car. These are the stock GT3 wheels that came on the car. And until we show you guys our new wheels, they're still getting built, we're gonna use this to send this car to paint and do all of our testing on. So let's go ahead and install the GT3 wheels. Center locks, one of my favorite things about these Porsches, GT cars. And you can even option them on not GT cars.
Wheels on this car? What?
Looking kind of crazy. We've also been stealing a bunch of parts off of the RS and putting it in the GT3. One other thing I haven't shown you is we took the RS armrest and we're gonna be putting it into the GT3, which might not sound that cool, but we're gonna do something special with the seats on that. So more on that later. But the moral of the story is any type of modular piece that came on the RS, we've been transferring it over to the GT3, one of which is this little gas cap. I have the same gas cap in my RS. I'm sure you can get this on the GT3, but it might be like a factory upgrade. I don't know, I'm just assuming. Some might come with this, not sure. But what I'm saying is taking this, because we had it sitting on the shelf from the RS, and I'm gonna swap it over because the GT3 currently just has this plastic boy, and I'm gonna upgrade it because it's way cooler. Yeah, it's the little things, everyone. It's the little things that count. We're now ready to put the car on its wheels for the first time since the whole entire rebuild. I don't know how low the coilovers are gonna be. Calvin says he forgot how low he made them.
I also didn't tighten all the bolts that kept it together, so we had to take it off.
So I don't know how low it's gonna sit. We're probably gonna need wheel ramps here to get it off of its arms. Ride height's actually not that bad considering we still need to do transport and stuff. Just needs a way more aggressive wheel.
Woo! Dude, Porsches look so gnarly without the rear bumper.
Oh man.
Wait, don't people do? That's where I found.
Twin turbo GT3.
No.
Yeah. Woo! Hell yeah, let's do it.
No. Oh my God. No. Sing with me. No.
Ready, say it, 3, 2, 1.
No.
Yes.
This is there's too much pepper in my chicken.
All right, so we're now gonna go ahead and start it for real this time. In the beginning of the video, we turned it on for a second and had to turn it off. Now we actually have to run it because we need to check our oil level. We know that we have the proper amount of oil in the car, but for the dry sump to actually get data to see how low it actually is, the car has to run for 15 minutes. So this is the perfect opportunity to start the car up, see how the exhaust sounds, but then also see if anything leaks, if Calvin forgot any bolts.
I hope it falls apart while you're driving.
So here we go, first start. It seems now we have another problem. We're able to get the Porsche to turn over, but the car won't stay turned on. This was an issue that we weren't able to foresee in the beginning of the video because we wanted to turn it off so quickly. But now, after trying to get it to actually run, the car stops us. We don't really know why, but we do have a few guesses.
It still sounds super sick.
Off camera, Sabrina just said, you know what, Tej, this car's actually starting to grow on me. She wasn't the biggest fan of it. She was like, I don't know, I don't really like red. Now she's saying she's starting to like the red.
Don't flame me. Guards Red wasn't a fan.
Hey,
but now
all good.
I
My opinion, if you have a Porsche and you don't support the Skittle colors, then what are you doing? All right, wheel reveal. I'll do the rear wheels first for you guys.
They're like so similar to that.
They're not. They're not.
Wait, those are fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have BBS
Of course they're BBS.
EO7s in white satin gold with polished lips.
White
Oh!
satin gold. Wow,
Oh!
that is fire.
You probably have the same question. You're like, Tej, those look exactly like the wheels on your
exactly.
RS.
They're not exactly.
Well, let's put them back to back.
There's.
You wanna wheel that over, babe?
Yeah. That's why we look right into the car.
I would cry. So, what makes these different, and these are EO7s and these are E89s. The E89s are a very...
Ooh, I like those ones more.
Yeah, the E89s are very rare. What makes them rare is that these use a 19 face and they step up to the tire size to be a 20. Now the reason why we're running a 20 on the RS is because we have carbon ceramic brakes and you cannot do any smaller wheel other than a 20 on a carbon ceramic. And the E89s are extremely rare because they barely clear the caliper. But these are an 18 face. So you get a much smaller wheel diameter, getting the car lower to the ground, but these will only fit on the steel brakes, which is why I never upgraded to the PCCBs on the red GT3. With the 18 face, these step up to a 19, not the 20, so you're gonna get a smaller profile, you're gonna get more concavity, you're gonna get a great dish, and it fires me up, baby. So good. Okay, so in the front, we are running a 265. I don't know where it is.
Who can find it first?
¿Dónde está? My numbers.
265, 35, Z, R19.
A little bit skinnier. And then in the rear, we upsize all the way to a 325, 30, 19. I got all these specs and fitments from Derek. So Derek, shout out to you. And going back to what I said, the whole reason as to why I really wanted the Steely brakes, which is the steel options, which are still huge by the way, was solely so I could do the 19-inch wheel setup opposed to the 20s that were running on the RS. And these are the EO7s. A little bit of a different shape face. I was gonna go E88s, but after talking with Derek, I was swayed to go to the E07. One, because they're just more rare to find. These are technically a more valuable setup. And E88s, although they're amazing, they're way more popular. And I thought the E07s would be a cool little switch up. So when I had this car at Porsche, among the big list of things I had them fix, I had them preset the alignment. I was recommended by Derek to go negative 2.5 camber on all 4, and that might need to go to 3. So we're gonna test with the wheels, see how they fit. Might have to do some raising and lowering. The fact that Dylan is one hand carrying that like a Lego is absolutely crazy. And let's get these on the car.
Oh, that's good.
Dude, the white gold on the red is... Okay, so like I said, we already set the camber to where it should be, but we're probably gonna have to make some adjustments and or lower or raise the car a little bit. As you can see, the rear is super aggressive still. Super aggressive. But this should be the perfect spec. So we'll lower it, we'll see where we are. Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yo.
Oh, now we're talking.
Okay. All right. Oh. I eat my words. Oh.
Yeah.
My God.
Damn.
Is that full low? Oh, that's it. It's off right now.
Oh. Wow.
Oh. Ah! Dude, this car just went from like here to like here. Hey. Dude, the red with the R. It's like the balance of, it doesn't have the front fenders. It doesn't have like the scoop on the rear. But when you add the red with the RS like style hood with the wheels, it just like, it almost becomes more aggressive with less. Maybe that's just me. But I feel this one looks more aggressive than the purple car. I am over the f***ing moon. This is the debate I've been having with you guys. After today, I feel like I'll drive this car 9 times out of 10 versus the purple car. And everyone's like, no, 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 keep the purple one. I don't know, man. The Dot 2 is...
It's so good.
So good. Is that the spot over there? Oh. With the 19 wheel setup, you get such a meatier tire, which like ties it all together.
It's so much better.
The meaty tire is so insane.
If I had to trade the carbon ceramics to have these wheels, in a heartbeat.
I almost downgraded the PCCBs on the purple car just so I could run this wheel setup, but I didn't. Dude, and then I found the E89s. Oh, how does the rear look?
Oh, that's so spicy.
That's crazy.
That is so good.
Are we kidding? Let's see.
Bro. This is like sell everything you have to afford it. Live in like a shed with a blanket on the floor with like a cup of noodle that you don't even have a microwave to heat up, and you just sit on the garage floor at night with a campfire looking at it and you go, it was worth it. I hope if anything, I influence at least one person to loving these cars as much as I do. If you've never known anything about them, or maybe you're like, yeah, they're just whatever. I hopefully throughout all of my videos talking about Porsches, you guys can see what I see.
Wait, these are the...
Calvin approves?
These are the... Oh, these are the BB...
You like them? You like them, don't you? You say you like the wheels. It's not a big deal. Just say you like them. It's real easy.
I love them.
Say you like them. I said like them.
I like them.
Okay, so just like with any Porsche, when it comes to fitting an aggressive wheel like this, there's always a little bit of shaving involved. And there is a little bit of shaving that we have to do. There's a lower control arm bolt inside the wheel. Inside! That you guys, I can almost see it. I can almost see it.
Oh, it's so close.
Yeah, you see that, guys? On the left-hand side. So we're gonna get a tool and we're just gonna shave the bolt down.
No, I think the bolt is okay. I think we'll shave the arm a little bit.
We'll do both. We're gonna take the wheels off. We're gonna shave that bolt down, and then I think the rear ride height is great. This car does not have a front lift on it, so I don't want to go too low quite yet. I think this front left could go lower, but I'm gonna leave it like this for now. and the rear and the front right is a little bit taller by 13 mil. So we're gonna lower that just a little bit, and that will be our ride height for today. We're going to be adjusting the hood gapping today. We're gonna be fixing the trunk gapping just a little bit, and then we have an axle boot that its clamp came off. So we're gonna clean up the axle and put a wire tie on that and clean that up. So let's start with the bolt shaving. Lowered the front right, so now it's matching on both sides, and the bolts for the, you loved that.
That was 6 takes.
I don't think we're gonna keep any
Nobody's
of
gonna
that
see
in.
any of it,
We're
but
not
that was
gonna keep
6
any of
takes.
that in. We just lowered the front right. The front right height is we just lowered the front right. We just lowered the front right. Took me 5 times to say that. And we shaved the rear bolt. So this thing is good to roll off now. And we can see how it's, shut your mouth. We can see how it lines up. Leave it here. Wow.
Oh, it's so good, it's bad.
Oh, dude. Yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Danny, I heard you got an M3 now.
Oh, shit, bro. Certified M owner.
The M boys?
M boys. M boys, baby. What are you doing here?
Well, last time I dropped this thing off, you know, the car came in a million pieces, and some of the pieces weren't there. So we placed an order, but there were a little bit special order from some place in Germany that I don't want to mispronounce, but they're here, and now we're just putting them on. And then TJ said he's gonna let me borrow the car because I got a hot date, and I'm just gonna pull up and like skirt.
Right, TJ?
TJ, say yes. Yep.
Hard,
not me.
Shit, not me.
Oscar from SOS came by because after we got the car painted, we were missing a few body clips. And once they arrived from Porsche, he promised me he would come back to help realign the whole car to make it as perfect as possible. While we were at it, we also put back all the under plastics and all the undercarriage. So this car is as OEM spec as possible from factory, so you would never know it was even in an accident.
He's scratching your hood, bro.
Well, we don't fix it if it scratches it.
Fortunately, that's true.
Now that we have the whole front end put together and aligned, I'm putting back the under trays, I'm putting back all the liners, and now Dylan is fixing an axle boot because one of the clamps broke. So Dylan's doing a fun job.
Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. That's.
Wow. Time for a very important job. I promise. Oh! We want to put the final touches on this setup, and that is putting the BBS stickers on the wheel. I don't know if I'm a fan of them.
You are. You just don't know it yet.
What's that? You don't know if you're a what? Hold on. What were you saying, TJ? I can't hear you. Hold on.
Don't know if I'm a fan of them. We'll see. I also think these stickers we have are so old and crusty, they're not gonna stick. Cue epic montage of BBS sticker placement on wheels because it doesn't make them look cheap, I swear. It's the cool thing to do. now this is really where the debate begins. Do I keep both? Do I sell one of them? I don't know at the moment. I'm completely undecided, but I am going to drive the red one a lot and see how I like the manual gearbox, see how the car drives and runs, and so far everything on the car is just perfect. Like with other cars that have been rebuilt, I feel like there's always something about that rebuilt car that was crashed, and you're like, oh, that one noise it makes, yeah, it's because of this. Or, oh, this one rattle it makes, I can't figure out what it is. This car is perfect, 100% perfect. Coming up next week, we'll get another order from Porsche, and it's the last final details. So the list that you guys saw in the last video, a few different fender liners, our GT3 center caps, our little Porsche badge that sits on this one. It's a little sticker. We're gonna add that. We're gonna add the rear badge, and then this thing's done. Remember, this car already has a tune on it. It already has all the exhaust. Now the wheels are done. So this car is just ready to actually be enjoyed. So in the next video or so, I'm gonna get both these cars out on the road together, drive them back to back, and really like try to pick apart the differences of what I like about each one. But let me know your thoughts. Are you a fan of the 19-inch size wheels or a fan of the 20-inch size wheels? And also, which one do you like more? I honestly can't decide. Dylan has a favorite.
Red one. Wheel size, color, car, .2, everything about it. The red one is just way more me. I like both of them a lot.
I'm 100% down the middle. I can't pick one. Tuan, what do you think?
If you're gonna go Porsche, and if you're gonna go to this level, you gotta have the RS badge. You have to.
Damn.
You have to.
Damn. Dude, we're literally split. We have GT3, RS, and I'm 100% neutral. I haven't decided yet. I like the narrow body of the GT3, and then I like the RS style hood, super clean.
I don't know how this one says it means more business than this one to me.
The red is a cooler color. That is more rare. That's why it's cooler in my opinion.
Red is not cooler than UV purple.
It's a better looking color, but the rarity of that makes it cooler than that.
You guys are nuts.
And the 19s, for me, okay, cars aside, RS, non-RS, guards red, 19s. Sold on both of those things. Yeah. RS, non-RS, whatever the fuck else, the red and the 19s, I'm hard
It's so
sold.
50-50. .2 is better, but the fact that that's an RS kind of trumps the fact that this is a .2. It's just like, it's literally 50-50.
Well, let's rev them back to back and see how they sound. This has the 4.0 engine. This also has a 4.0 engine. But the engine in the .2 is a slightly different motor than the .1 RS. I'm not even gonna get into the Porsche politics about what makes them different and why the .1 GT3 doesn't have the .2 GT3 engine. Let's see how they sound, because I think that the red one has a higher rasp, like a higher tone than the purple one. The purple one's a little bit more lower. Something happened that I can't believe actually happened. Porsche saw all of our trials and tribulations with trying to get this car started. And they reached out and they said, Tej, come by our service center. We have a tech that has done some ECU rewriting before. I don't know how much I can say. Yeah, I don't know how much. Yeah, I don't know how much I can say. I'll just leave it at that. I plead the fifth. But he said that they have a guy that has some experience with doing stuff like this. And they said that they think they can help us. I think we're onto something doing it ourselves, but if we can go to Porsche and expedite this process because they just have all of the tools and all the softwares and stuff, please. Yeah, I would take that. So we're with the truck and trailer right now. We have the Porsche loaded up and we're gonna drop this car off. They're gonna give it a shot. So I'm really excited to talk to them when we get there and see what their plan of attack is. And this is gonna be their first time seeing it. And we're not a certified Porsche builder shop, so it's always interesting to see what they say. All right, this is definitely not ideal because this parking lot is so small, but we just got to the Porsche dealership and we have to park the truck and trailer literally in the middle of the road. I hope this doesn't cause any problems.
It's busier than I thought.
Yeah. So it's just Calvin and I. We don't have Dylan. It's just two people to roll this out of the trailer and hopefully it doesn't go wrong. Nice and slow, heavy. Let it roll straight back, keep the movement going. Yeah. And no, go straight back. That is a lot heavier than it looks. How is it from the inside?
Oh, I was chilling.
Oh. You guys ready to push?
Back to it.
Ready to push again? So I think they said they wanted it in the back by the other Porsche, the red Porsche back there.
Okay.
You got it. Keep going right hand. And straight. All right, Cal, well, this is where we say our prayer.
I believe.
It's now in Porsche's hands, and it was cool. There was a lot of employees that came out that were all sitting in the car.
It became a circus. Everybody came
Everyone
out.
started coming out, but this is where she's gonna leave. I don't think I can go in here. I don't want to cross any boundaries, but they're gonna go in the service center, and they're gonna try to play with the ECUs. Hey, dude, we could have used a lot of that. We could have used a lot of that wiring. Dude, next time we know, whenever we need to buy more sensors, don't buy sensors, just come here to that little junk store. I will say it is very cool to see everyone's interest in this car, and if they don't know it from the YouTube videos, everyone's asking a lot of questions, and when we tell them that there's an RS engine inside of the GT3, it just spikes everyone's interest. Are you hopeful? You think it's gonna work?
He was telling us some Russian guy in a medium shirt with the briefcase shows up. I will smoke a cig with that dude. He's got it.
Calvin. This is pretty official. So do you have any idea who's gonna be doing it? The summary of this conversation was all about our plan of attack. This isn't necessarily the most common thing, and Porsche doesn't technically even offer this to regular customers. But there is an employee here that in his spare time likes to mess around with engine swapping and does a lot of Porsche coding. I'll just leave it at that. And his name was Ahmed. Ahmed hopefully is gonna be our saving grace to this build, and it's time we meet him.
The base started off as a GT3?
Yes.
So just a regular GT3?
It's a regular GT3.
Okay.
And we swapped a .2 RS engine in it.
Okay.
Then we bought a manual GT3 transmission and put that on it.
Yeah.
So that's what it thinks it is. So the DME thinks it's an RS.
Okay.
But it's actually a manual GT3. We couldn't get it to not think that this was a PDK. We needed to think it's a manual, right? But it thinks it's an RS. Because if we try and start it right now, the thing is it will turn over for like a second and then it kills it. Not sure why. But I think maybe like something fueling related, or not, the RS has a different fuel pressure, it asks for more fuel delivery. When we start it freaks out, or maybe it's because it thinks because it's looking for park, but because it has the neutral switch, maybe it's just not communicating correctly.
Yeah.
But it starts for a second and then kills.
Okay. So we'll take a look at it. I mean, I've had it where, you know, like on my swap, it would start for literally a split second and die because it thought it was a 3-liter still.
Yeah.
And in reality, it was a 3.6 turbo.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds, I mean, kind of, not the same thing, but kind of similar.
It's similar. So we'll check it out. I got to get into it. I got to look at it. I got to see what it's seeing and see how everything's communicating. And then we'll go from there.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
You're our saving grace.
Yeah.
The whole build and video series relies on you now.
Thanks.
If you have any questions, you can call me at any time, or you can text me like, hey, I have a question. Is this like any module questions, anything? And I'll ask my guys too if I don't know the answer, so I can get you all the correct information.
Sounds good. Cool, man.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Well, I gotta be honest, that was pretty awesome.
Oh, love it. Love coming here.
I hope it works. I hope it works. The fact that they're actually willing to help us means a lot. You want to look inside the dealership real quick? Come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
of course,
Come
of
on.
course, buddy.
Let's go shopping. Let's go shopping. Look, we're dealing with the 991s. Let's look and see let's see if they have any cool 992s.
Oh, I like that car.
The guard's red.
I love
Macan.
red. I just love red.
Oh well, you know that's the color. That's the color of our car.
Honestly, that's a better red than your red.
It's the same red.
It's not the same red because it looks beautiful.
Because it's washed.
Well, sounds like someone needs to take a shower.
I could see you in a Macan.
A Macan? I don't know about a Macan.
Whoa, doesn't know about a Macan. Oh, upstairs. There's the deal. That's where I'll go. Could you see yourself in an RS, Calv?
No, honestly.
What?
I don't know. I've been in your RS.
Really, because all the comments are like, give Calvin the RS.
I don't want.
Give Calvin the GT3.
Maybe something like this. I would love this.
Calvin!
Wait.
There's a 992 GT3 RS. This is the dream, Calv. Dude.
Oh my goodness.
That's the dream. We almost bought a wrecked one
sick.
off of Copart.
This is sick.
Oh my god.
This is a sick car.
Dude. Kill me.
Oh wow. I like that. That looks cool.
This is it, Calv. This is it right here. Dude. One day.
Beautiful.
So you don't like it? You wouldn't drive this?
Well, you said you didn't specify. You didn't specify.
Guess how much that car is?
Probably like $350,000.
Half mil.
Half mil.
Half mil.
Damn, 500.
Because sticker markup is like 250 grand.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's beautiful though.
It is beautiful. This is sick. Chalk gray.
I'm surprised you don't have you didn't do gray. I'm surprised you haven't done gray on a car. Or
Because anytime I want to do a gray car, all you do is make fun of me about how I'm so bland. So I can't do a gray car because I'm embarrassed. You'll just humiliate me everywhere I go. So of course I wouldn't do gray.
You know, we could do green, you know.
Hey, I meant to tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how we have an RS hood on the GT3?
Yeah.
And the GT3 doesn't come with this hood.
Yeah.
Because when you lift this up, this has vents that go to the brakes.
Yeah, I've taken that out.
I saw someone online, and I saw it at Cars and Coffee, where you can order all the brake ducting so we can make that functional on our GT3.
Ooh, it'll fit? I thought
it works.
It seemed to me while I was working on, because I'm an expert now at the GT, I took that thing apart completely. Okay, listen, I know things. The green car and the red car, it seemed like the strut towers were a little different.
The chassis should be the same. All I know is I was with a GT3 car, and he was like, I ordered all of this from factory. Because I saw the hood, and I was like, oh, he probably did a fakie like us. Like, we're just gonna block these off. And he was like, no, I just ordered it, you can do it.
I wish you should have said that, because we had the bit, they were fine on this side. They were fine.
You're saying the RS pieces were good, we didn't?
Yeah.
I didn't know we could even do this at that point, that's the thing.
Now it's just a mess, and it was all taken away. We don't know what it looks like, I don't know.
Well, you guys, should we go the extra mile and dig even deeper in this car and add RS brake ducting? We're wildly over time in this build, so it's probably not a good idea, but I have to say, it is very, very tempting.
Good idea, but it's a terrible idea. Oh, there's a third floor. Oh, please.
What's in the third? Anything cool up there?
Yeah, I think we have an ST here right now.
Hey, we have an ST downstairs too. Sweet, yeah, I'll take a tour. Oh, I saw these. The Spider RS.
Down too.
So wild. Oh my gosh. Wow. Is this one for sale?
No.
It's sold.
Yeah, sold.
How much? Do you know how much it's sold for?
I think a little over 300.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like 300. That's not that bad. Wow. So this is pretty cool. If you don't know what the ST is essentially exactly what we just built. It's an RS engine with a GT3 manual gearbox. So it's literally what we just built, except this car actually has a super lightweight flywheel, and the lightweight flywheel allows it to rev like super, super quick and snappy. It's very cool. It's way more snappier than the GT3. We almost bought that flywheel and put it in our car, but ultimately decided against it because it was like $21,000.
Yeah,
dude, the RS Spider's cool. How weird. Is it?
Yeah.
How much you guys asking over?
It's like, it's not over technically because it's a used car with 17 miles on it. I think it's 449.
Used with 17? Yeah. 400, 450? I mean, oh man.
Well, the thing is, if you have like a good relationship with Porsche, sometimes you get them for a better deal.
I know, I asked the guys down below, I was like, so let's start a relationship, let's get me in a sticker.
And then immediately as they take delivery, they already want to consign it.
I told them that, I was like, I'll buy one today and I'll sell it back to you when I want to get rid of it. Wow. One day, you guys, I will get my hands on this car.
Ow. Ow. My legs.
Did you work out a little too hard?
Had a good bust, you know.
Everywhere we go, Calvin's just waddling and goes, ow, ow, ow. No, don't commit, don't do it. You're alone, I don't know you. I don't know who that is. No one look over there.
Not the one you're getting, don't get it.
Don't quote me.
I don't care, I don't want it.
think it's lizard green.
Lizard?
I think it's lizard. So the .2 engine is actually a little bit different compared to the .1. Tone's gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna be a little bit more high pitch, and it makes a lot more mid-range compared to the .1 engine.
bucket seat, dude.
Yeah, dude, the seats are sick.
It's noticeably deeper. I mean, obviously bigger engine, 3.8 to a 4.0, but the initial startup and like tone is quite a bit deeper than the .1 RS. And like I said, obviously bigger displacement engine, but sounds sick. Give me some baby revs. That tone, that's good.
Doing what hasn't been done. That's what makes this really cool. Manual gearbox is working, and what makes this really interesting, let's look right here, Quan. So we kept on the tack the GT3RS because this car thinks that it's a GT3RS, although it's a GT3.
Such a cool Easter egg.
It is a little bit of an Easter egg. So this car went through a bunch of different trials and tribulations to try to get this to work. We have different ignition systems, we have different DMEs, but our exact secret, I'm gonna let that rest within everyone who helped make this thing possible. Officially, we have done it. And now, as you can see, there's still quite a bit of work to do. We need to put back the interior. We need to put back the cage. We need to put back the bumpers. We need to install the rest of the rear engine components. And we still have a few codes to clear. Now, when I key on the car, we have some baby stuff we still need to take care of. Seems like a lot, but it's not. So we just need to code the headlights, code the suspension, clear the brake pad warnings, put some fluid in it, put TPMS sensors in it, and that's it. Those are the only codes that we have left. Now, as I said earlier, this has a GT3RS engine in it, and it's now sitting with a manual transmission gearbox and a bunch of different stuff, and it's super rewarding to see no check engine light, no faults or warnings about anything. We had to splice in a new pigtail harness for the manual transmission to go into this harness, and everything has seemed to work thus far. So, man, I'm excited about that. This is our own 911 ST, which never even existed for this. That's a newer generation thing that is a first up. We always try to do first time builds in this house, and I'm excited to add this one to the list. But we're not out of the woodworks yet because we still have to put all this stuff back. And I have my good friend Jake coming down today, and he's gonna plug into the car and help us clear the rest of the code. And then if all goes as well, stay tuned for the end of the video and we'll find out. This should be heading off to SOS to get some paint and body work done, and this thing can finally hit the road. But stay tuned, because in a little bit, I'm gonna put the front seat back in this car, and we're gonna go drive this car on the street and see how it actually feels.
A wild Ian, what are you doing?
You know, just playing around.
It's a clone, it's not the real one. And after 3 months of this sitting on the shelf, we can finally put back this piece, but it is very dusty and gross, so I'm going to clean this thing up with my favorite product ever, Citrus Power Cleaner Plus from Meguiar's. And I just got it all over my leg, and I'm okay with it because my leg is dirty. Now the hard part is gonna be remembering where everything goes, because I remember nothing. And second out, this will probably lane move.
Yeah, take the bolts out.
Yeah,
take the bolts out. Yeah. You would have went like this. Clink, clink. Why isn't it going in? Clink,
I was
clink.
going to take them off, I just didn't do it yet.
Wrong.
I was testing you, and you passed. Calv, you can leave. I didn't really want Calvin to leave, but now that he's gone, I'm gonna move forward with putting back all the panels to the top of the engine. You start with a carbon fiber panel that is going to house our fans for cooling off the engine. Just a couple bolts on either side. It's rather simple. Thing I still need to get that I realized I was missing. There is a circle tube that goes from the air intake that scoops up to this intake from the rear trunk lid. I need to buy that. We don't have that. That'll be an easy, quick fix. And I want to update just slightly. If you guys watched the last video, I talked about adding the front air ducting for the brakes, because this hood actually has all of the ducting for the RS. And after reading your guys' comments and looking it up online, you actually can, from Porsche, order the GT3RS front brake ducts that cool the brakes. So I am gonna order those. So when this car comes back from paint, we'll go ahead and install those. So we're gonna have
all of the RS ducting in this car too, which is one thing I wanted to talk about because I'm really excited to add that. And it's just those like small minor details that this car like has on it that really like tie in the whole ST feature all together. Although the ST does not have that. So I'm going to put on the new bumper that we got. And I ended up just getting a used bumper because buying these things brand new is like $6,000. I didn't want to do that. So I bought a used one that has a slight damage on it, but we can fix that super easily. But I was just going to throw it on and it looks like the original bumper that this came off of actually has a slightly different attachment point on the top of the rear bumper that I'm just now noticing. We can make it work, but why? They're supposed to be from the same exact year and they're exactly the same exterior styling, but the .1 and .2 are slightly different. For some reason, I'm sure there's a Porsche nerd down below in the comments that can answer this question.
Actually, in 2018.5, model year 2017.
I know, I was gonna say, actually, after April, they switched to a different trim model.
100%, that's how it's gonna be. You okay?
Who put that there?
That hurt.
I was thinking maybe the taillight goes first and the bumper overlaps it, but it has
The
to.
taillight goes closest to the chassis.
What?
And then the bumper sits in the pocket.
Oh, that's why it wasn't fitting very good.
It goes chassis, taillight, bumper. But the bumper also sits behind the taillight because there's a recess in there.
Now, I know I told you guys we weren't going to be keeping the green seats and making a watermelon spec or Christmas tree spec, but for the time being, we're going to throw this seat in because I can't drive this with no seat. These are going to get completely upholstered when they go to SOS, so something's coming for these, to stay tuned.
We only have the front bolts, so don't go too fast. Or don't crash.
You guys will remember Jake from the original Porsche videos. He's been a big leader behind getting this thing up and running because he knows these cars very, very well. And now that we have the ECU communicating properly and thinking properly, Jake's coming in with this big fancy tool and he's gonna clear the rest of our codes and alter some of our codes because we're getting headlight warnings and random warnings. So his objective today is to hopefully clear all those up.
So as you guys know, Porsche never made a 991.2 GT3RS in manual. So in order to do that, it's all possible to make everything mesh properly, but there's a lot of hoops we're gonna have to jump through. We've done 95% of them. I'm here for the last 5%. We got 4 little lights on that we're gonna make not be on, and we're gonna make everything work together perfectly.
So initially what we're gonna be scanning for is all the codes that are on the car. Once we identify what all of these codes are, we're going to erase them and clear everything. Then we're gonna turn the car back on again and see what codes still remain. The codes that reappear are the ones that we're going to be focusing on today and tackling so the car has no more codes and is flawless. And while Jake is finishing up this car, Calvin and I are gonna move forward with installing the plastics.
Do you know what the puzzle is?
The windshield wipers have to go on, and then that goes on.
So smart. Do you think TJ was the kid that tried to put like the square in the circle?
He tried to put the star in the circle, and unfortunately, it fit. Story of his life. Citrus power cleaner.
And with all these pieces finally on the car, it's time for us to put this thing on the street and go for a first drive. But unfortunately, we've ran into another disaster.
Or an axle's loose. It feels like an axle's loose. Can you see if an axle's spinning?
Can't be a clutch, it's brand new.
Well, unless something came loose, but watch.
No, I heard it. I don't need to hear it. Oh,
well, I want to see, like, are the axles spinning?
I can't tell. You can't see shit, you're too low to the ground. Yeah, we'll push you in.
Old Jake was just gonna go up and down the street to get some oil level sensor test finished, and then right when he went from 1 to 2, it made a really weird noise. Sounds like a weird clutch engagement, or maybe one of the axles was loose. So we're gonna have to put it up and check. I remember tightening the axles. That's the sketchy part.
All right, well, we had a problem yesterday, and
Jake.
One after another. I told you guys we were gonna go for a first drive and we were going to film all of it, but we went out yesterday at the very end of the day to just get our oil level. And because the way these cars are, you have to drive it to get an oil level measurement. So Jake was gonna go up the street and back just to initialize that test. And right as he pulled out of the driveway in first gear, with barely any throttle, he drove, and you guys heard the noise. It started going, and we immediately shut it down, rolled it back. And at first, Jake thought it was the clutch, which me and Dylan looked at each other like, kill me.
He was ghost white, too. It was my favorite. Yeah, Jake's like, I'm gonna kill myself.
He was so scared that he broke something. But what it ended up being was the passenger side axle. When we built this car, we used all of the components of the drivetrain from the wrecked green GT3RS. And that car was totally destroyed. And when we inspected the axles, we knew by looking at one of them that one of them was completely destroyed. So we ordered a brand new axle and installed it on this side. And we had thought that the passenger side axle was good. On the outside, it looked good. We inspected it. And obviously, after driving it 15 miles per hour, the axle decided to do this.
Wait,
that was a Dylan impersonation.
Axles don't really normally, they go.
Yeah, they do. It went.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it did that and it immediately broke. I have already ordered a new one and it will show up here tomorrow. So I owe you guys a first drive video and we are there. We're literally almost there. This car is so close. We finally got the first startup and got to hear it. But in the next 24 hours, our new axle will show up from Porsche and we can get underway and get you guys that first driving video. So I owe you that. It's coming very, very soon. Axle is in, everything is tight. It is time for the first voyage of this car. Wish me luck, boys. Frankenstein ST, first drive, technically second drive. Going to second. Yeah! Yes, and the gear indicator works, which sounds kind of silly, but when we first set this up, we were putting it in gear, and we're like, it only shows gear 1. When we put it in second gear, when we're not moving, it doesn't go into gear. And we had to wire that gear selector, and it actually will only register what gear it's in when you're rolling, and it just worked, which is so sick. The alignment is terrible. We have done 0 alignment, so there's that. The gear position works.
No way.
Yeah. It only picks it up when you move. So I went to 2, and then it took a second, then I went 2. I'm gonna go back up the street, I'm gonna give it a little more sauce, and then I might do the old victory lap, if you know what I mean. Oh, just hit like a limp mode or something. Hey, that was weird. I gave it like 3/4 throttle and I went to like 4,000 RPM and it kind of skipped a little bit and it kind of fuel cut me, but then I just briefly grazed by it and nothing happened. I'm gonna rev it out a little bit. Don't want that to happen again. Yes! Gearbox feels immaculate. Really? It reminds me of the 997 GT3. Like really? It just feels so good. Nothing alarming. Cool. No codes, no check engine lights, no warnings. I want to say she's happy. Cool. Went all the way to 3rd so far, no dramas. We'll take it a little bit farther.
Yeah.
like 30% throttle.
No way.
I'm barely touching it.
This thing's spicy.
Yeah, the alignment's really bad. It's like pulling, like, I don't know if you can feel the car.
I can definitely feel it.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable, like, ripping it.
I would. I feel like I'm 5. I'm looking over the dash like I'm so small. Like a child right now. I love this.
Faster, faster!
Car had no engine.
It had no engine, and the engine was in half.
We had another car's engine and took it out and put it in this one, and then did something that's never been done before.
Yeah, this is a manual GT3RS with no side scoops. Is what it is.
Dude, the downshifts are crispy.
Yeah. Oh, get fucked.
Maybe it has auto blip. Hold on, because I'm like dialing that.
No, that's you. Because it would, as soon as you went into gear.
Yep.
Yeah, that's you.
I'm barely tough. We need way more room to get on it. I'm like barely on that throttle. I don't smell anything. Our temperatures are perfect.
Yeah.
An alignment, some paint, and the thing is ready to rip, dude.
No way.
It just works, dude.
Really good. Loud.
It sounds loud.
It's loud.
The culmination of so much hard work. Dude!
Over the last 4 months, you guys have watched us take a green GT3RS and a red GT3 and combine both the cars together to create one beautiful machine. And in the last video, we were talking about different colors, what we wanted to do this, and there was a lot of input from you guys. But what I've ultimately decided on is keeping it guard red. A lot of you guys wanted Ruby Star, and I agree, I really wanted that color too. And I made a post on the community tab of the channel with a bunch of different color options if you didn't see it. I've been posting on there a little bit more frequently, so keep your eyes posted on that. But there's a big reason as to why I didn't do that, and it belongs on the interior, which you guys just saw, but come with me, Twan. A big reason why I wanted to stick with guards red, there's a few reasons, is one, look at these seats, you guys. So remember, these were the green seats that we got out of the green GT3RS. And a few months ago, I ordered this. This is factory from Porsche colored houndstooth. Now Porsche actually has a bunch of different color options that you can do, but from the very beginning, I always wanted to have that guards red with like white and red checkered houndstooth. We already had the fabric, and if I was to change to any other color, it would take months for us to get those colored inserts, which would take forever. So SOS did all the upholstery in here. We even had leftover fabric, and I decided to change the armrest because the armrest just had Alcantara here, but I really wanted to have that be the houndstooth as well. So we have houndstooth armrest, super sweet. Houndstooth inserts, and then we did the rest of the stitching in Porsche leather and then added the silver stitching because all of the interior of the car has that silver stitching. So that looks really good. Then up on the headrest, I almost put like GT3RS or like ST or something fancy, but I wanted to stay true to this car, so I put GT3 up here. I really wanted to keep it like kind of continuous with the rest of the branding on the car, so I left that with GT3.
I will say, I am surprised you didn't do the door cards.
Door cards?
In this material.
Like this?
Mm-hmm. This center insert of the door card?
Here's the reason why. I thought it'd be too obnoxious.
I get that.
I was even really on the fence about doing this because it's just a lot of checker.
Yeah.
And I thought doing it on the door cards might be a little bit too much. And this was something that I gambled on and was like, I'm gonna do it anyway just because it's such little material. If I was to change it and get a reupholstered, it wouldn't cost that much. But I didn't want to go too crazy. The Porsche interior is already so perfect as it is that I wanted it to be complementary to the rest of the interior, not override the rest of the interior, if that makes sense. Now, another reason as to why I didn't change to another color is because Oscar was able to repaint this car and fix everything in about 10 days. Now, if I was to change to any other color entirely, it would have taken another month or so, and I really wanted this car back. We've been building this car for so long, I really wanted to change that. Now, if you look up close, there is still some body gapping that needs to be done, and that's because there was a couple clips that were missing that are body gap clips that kind of like hold everything together. So it's not 100% done yet. We're waiting on this few little pieces from Porsche to show up, and all of that will be perfect. One of which is we need the RS Porsche badge style for the hood. We need the badge for the back. We need a few little bumper clips. But as you guys remember, the main damage of this car was actually on the driver's side rear. All of this was pretty much dented in and scraped, and they were able to pop nearly all of it out. They fixed up all of the scuffs on the wing. They fixed up all of the little door marks. The car is now perfect. It literally is the dream GT3. And on the hood, I'm super stoked on this, so check this out. I wanted this hood to be as close to an RS hood as possible. Now remember, this is not an authentic GT3RS hood. This is actually from Apollo. I'm gonna link them again down below because if you're a Porsche guy and you want a RS style hood or a different style hood for your Porsche that is of amazing quality but isn't the $20,000 price tag that an actual OEM RS hood is, you could check them out, so I'll link it below. But we left the Nakaducks the same finish that it is from factory, so it's like that satin black, and the scoops also go underneath. And I was talking with you guys about this in a video about converting the front end to have the same ducting as the RS, and we have done that. What I was able to do is I actually just kept the trim right here from my RS, and the ducting comes through here. There's a hole in the ducting, so everything lines up. So the scoops go straight down to the brakes, and we left the underside the raw satin carbon just like it is from factory. It's the small details in this car that like really emulate how cool it is. I don't know which one I'm gonna like driving more. I haven't really driven this car too much yet, and we're gonna go take it out today for the first time on the road because we need to start doing all of our California inspections and stuff to get this thing registered. But is this gonna be better than the RS? I don't know if I plan on keeping two of them for that long because they're so similar. Now, enough of that. Let's go drive this thing for the first time on the freeway and go start all of our inspections. All right, we're going on the first maiden voyage. Gotta go get this thing cleared out to get it registered. So we gotta go do a smog emissions test. We gotta do a brake and taillight and VIN inspection. Seats looking good. The car's still not set up, so suspension and alignment is not done. It doesn't drive the greatest yet. It's still very stiff, and we're still missing some interior pieces and whatnot. So definitely a maiden voyage, but all things have to get done to get this thing perfect. So let's go. It's funny to me how much this car is pushing and dragging its tires. I mean, as you guys know, we replaced the whole front end of this car and then just threw in the coilovers, threw the rear end together. It literally feels like the steering is so numb, and on and off throttle, the car is pulling different ways. I cannot wait to get this thing aligned today and then go for a drive to see how amazing of a car it feels. But other than that, the car feels super solid. No creaks, no rattles, no weird noises out of the car. This exhaust setup is a little bit louder than an RS. And surprisingly, no drone. Valves closed, just cruising. Thing is rock solid. We're so close, so close to getting this thing dialed. This thing has a little bit too much oil in the car, and every time we drive it, it says, please reduce the amount of oil in the car. So I'm gonna pull this drain plug, try to just dump out, hopefully about a quart of oil. This is not a fun job. I'm scared I'm gonna douse myself and...
No, you got it.
It's still...
Is it hot?
It's still pretty warm.
I'll be supporting you from 5 feet away. You got this.
That's a big drain plug, too.
No, the thread's long.
No, the thread's long, but like the diameter, it's still gonna just...
It's gonna gush.
Like when I go like this, it's gonna get everywhere. I gotta remain calm here.
All right, here we go.
I might just totally blow this here. Might be doing an oil change today.
Look at that. Look at that.
We're lucky because this thing is a dry sump, so there's like 3 or 4 different oil drain plugs. That wasn't that much, but I think it's enough to be safe to see if it yells at me again once we run it a little bit and it gets up to temp. That was probably not even close to a quart. That was probably like,
I was gonna say that it was like almost
half quart is what I would imagine. But I'd rather start there than do too much. We'll do a little more. All right, I'm happy with that. If anything, it will tell us it's too low. I don't think that's gonna be dangerously low. I think that's pretty adequate. Anchor on the left of the water. Yeah, we use that for dog bowls. I need ramps here. Drive with the alignment, and off the bat feels so much better. Tanner was saying there was like over an inch of toe on like all 4 different corners, which everything was brand new. All the alignment was like, everything was out of spec. It was like literally aligning it from 0. So car feels amazing now. Car feels and drives like my RS does, which is super awesome. Doesn't feel super sketchy when doing pulls.
Oh, those are crispy.
The downshifts are insane.
Oh, those are crispy.
It's so good. Wow. It's trying to take an oil measurement right now, but the car needs to be idling, so it literally gives me a countdown. 1 minute 55, 54, 53, and every time I rev it, it restarts it. So we'll check what our oil level is when we get back to the shop. Hopefully we drain enough so we don't need to do that again, because it's just kind of a hassle. But this car is finally like super close to its finish line and being everything that we wanted it to be. And there's still, like I said, there's still some things we still need to perfect over it that we'll do over time, but it's almost there. It is literally almost there. What I'm honestly so amazed about is this car feels so good. Not that I was expecting there to be like rattles or weird noises, but like the whole front end was off of this car, and the Öhlins coilovers, the suspension setup, I mean, just everything feels so good. You would never know. The Dundon exhaust sounds amazing. The RS tune that we have on it sounds so good. I mean, everything about it, like, it's literally how I imagined this car would be when we first thought of the idea to buy both these cars, put together something that never was offered, and the fact that we pulled it off, you guys. The fact that we pulled it off. Whoa, look at how slammed that Civic was. I'm just proud of the team. I'm proud of everyone that helped made this thing happen. I just love these damn cars so much, and I'm so hyped on the interior. And the best part about this whole thing is this right here, and I owe that to you guys. If it weren't for you guys, we would have done the PDK, and I would have loved it. But I'll be honest, I would not have loved it as much if I didn't do this manual gearbox. It almost like fills that 997 GT3 obsession that I have, because part of what makes that car so great is that gearbox. This Porsche gearbox from 997 and up is just amazing. It is literally perfection. And I hate this talking to you guys and I'm like, oh, it's perfect, it feels great, it feels amazing, but like, there's no other way to describe this car. It is just amazing and perfect. All right, now here's a sight I'm excited to see. Damn. Oh. For those that never understand what I mean when I say dot 1 versus dot 2, look at the front end on this one. Take a really good look. And now look at the front end on this one. It's very slight, but very noticeable differences. Scoop placements are different. the actual shape. This has a more like 992 front end where it like noses off like a shark, where the .1 is much more rounded and doesn't really have that. It's more like a 997 front end. And then obviously the hoods are different. That's a .2 hood, that's a .1 hood. This style RS hood was never available on the .1. And then obviously the eyebrows, a little like DRLs, are different on both cars. Now, before I actually do a full photo shoot with both these cars, that's gonna wait because I don't wanna put these together and do photos and do all that cool stuff until we finish all of the body gapping, get it 100% perfect, and finish putting all the fender liners in, because there's still some work to be done on this, and it doesn't have wheels on it. We gotta do it with the wheels, but bringing it home, man, feels really good. Damn, look who just showed up. Another fellow P-car owner. What up, Kev?
I was doing a circle around that thing. It looks sick.
It's still not 100% done yet.
Really?
We're still waiting on some clips and like little liners and stuff from Porsche to show up so we can finish our body gapping. Yeah. So it's not like perfect.
I mean, it looks absolutely amazing.
But like the bones are there.
Look at the red on that thing.
I know. Look at all.
They kind of look sick together.
I know. I almost want to pull everything out and just put all the Porsches in there.
Dude.
That'd be so
Should
sick.
we do like a little shoot right now with all three of them?
So I was just telling them, I'm like, I want to wait to do a shoot until the wheels are on, the gaps are good.
What wheels do you have?
I have.
Oh.
Yeah. I need to get the key for you.
Give me the key. Look at the seats.
Picnic tables.
Oh my god, that's sick.
Yeah, look at the armrest too.
That's so clean.
Yeah, man.
Dude, this has come together. I kind of like the wheels as they are.
I don't hate them. It's just the fitment. You know, it's stock spec. So even after our alignment today, we pulled as much camera as we could out. It's just, it will look so much better when it's slammed. Like that car. Car's not slammed, but really like slammed. The fitment, the aura of the car, I think will be a lot better once it's on like proper size wheels and has better like fender to gap ratios and stuff like that.
Are you kidding me? This thing's sick.
Oh man, dude, I love it. I do. I don't know which one I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I just say screw it and I own two of the same car, one manual, one auto. I don't know, but I feel like this one's so fun to drive around the street just because the gearbox is so damn good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Forget the key. Oh, she feels good. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I know.
Dude, I can see how.
It's just.
I can see why.
It's just so good.
What exhaust do you have on it?
Stundin header and titanium catback.
Is it the same as that one?
Yep, but this sounds different because the motor is slightly different.
Really?
This has a lot more mid-range. It's a little faster. Yeah. Man. Okay, that's super loud. That's incredibly loud.
It's actually not that loud from in here.
It's very loud from the back.
Let me hear.
Incredibly loud. Sabrina's gonna kill me.
You go.
Sorry, Sabrina.
That is. There's got like a punch at the top end.
More is like criminal.
It
You
like-
go above that, and it's just like, okay, bud.
It's like a little Sonic sock. It like comes out and like smacks you right at it hits the top
Dude,
of that.
It hurts. It hurts.
Look
bad.
at you in that thing. You look good in red. You look real good. Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm happy with it, man.
You look so
and
good.
It's cool because it has the updated, like, PCM unit, like you.
Oh, like me on that thing?
Yeah. Give me an update. How was your time been with this car, Kev?
Oh, it's been absolutely amazing.
You still loving it?
Oh, haven't stopped loving it. I did a little bit of tint on it just to keep it.
Oh yeah, you did do this. Dude, I don't even notice some.
It's a little bit.
Let me see it.
I wanted classy. I wanted the heat reduction. What are you laughing at? Yeah, who cares? That's what I wanted.
Okay.
I wanted them to see who's driving it.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Kev just got tints done over the weekend. He did 50, pretty much all around.
Yeah.
He didn't really. Kevin said he likes the fishbowl look, which I vibe with. Does my purple one have it? My purple one has tints, but barely. But it looks really clean. It looks. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm gonna tint that one. I'm I'm gonna go dark.
I think it would look. I think that would look pretty good tinted. Because I didn't want to like murder it.
Yeah.
Because it's black on black. But look at our steering wheels.
Oh, dude.
Look at our steering wheels.
Oh man. So one thing that wasn't in the main episode that you guys saw when we did Kevin's car is we actually added a short shifter. It's from a company called Numeric, and we put the whole episode on the Clips channel, but his shifter is super notchy now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
wow.
The entire assembly is replaced with billet aluminum, and then it has like shorter cables or something, and then we also have like the pedals.
Yeah, you added the pedals.
And I've been enjoying it. I tried out the OEM knob just to see if it's like, it's so clunky that I was like, I need a little bit of cush.
Yeah,
so
dude, it's like, you guys won't be able to tell, but like,
you can probably pop it off.
No, I just meant like the noise, like it, I don't know, it feels really good, but like, it's stiff. Like you feel it through your palm when you like.
Clunk's real good.
Yeah, it's a really good clunk.
PCCM, absolutely amazing.
So good, dude.
And then last thing was the only thing I've done is like I just wired the valve compressor into there.
Oh, sick.
It sucked.
Yeah.
I took apart the entire rear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not fun.
No.
997 rear interior, not fun to do.
Not that fun. And
steering
really
wheel
cramped,
is sick, dude.
Sweating. See, like it looked. I love how like they kept the heritage of all of it between the cars. You get a Porsche, nothing changes. Like it like updates like marginally, so you know exactly what you're getting into.
Yeah, they all feel like they're very, very close relatives. Like the gauge clusters are very similar. The PCMs are similar. Like, I don't know. They're all like, how do you really explain that? They're all this like, you can see the evolution of every generation through the every interior.
Like they just
make it. Like this door handle. Look at this door handle, you guys.
Same.
Kev, go look at the door. Look at the door design and look at the door handle. And now go look at the GT3.
Wow, they really did. They really did like to keep
Same.
it the same. Huh?
Same frame and everything.